We're back again for Word with me, Food for Thought, reactionary video. We do reactionary video that's pertinent to the Black American culture, our history, and our heritage. Things that are pertinent information and little tidbits and little food for thoughts, just to make my people think on what's going on. It's time to wake the fuck up, y'all. It's enough of trying to be slow. Real shit. But I'm doing a reaction video today on, remember this little dude, young Pharaoh, YP, before he fell off the nut wagon? Them folks got a hold to him, and his maleness got a hold to him, and he fell, just like Solomon. And they always fall. You know, when people start to look at a man because he's in a leadership position and he's trying to guide, he always starts to fall because he can't handle that energy and that attention. He starts to think himself more than what he is. And he starts to utilize and manipulate that power because he is so ecstatic that women has lent him an ear and are looking at him. So, if women looking at men like that, oh, them motherfuckers nuts so happy. They so, she look at me, she like me. They go so gaga and stupid. They lose all composure. And they just fall off the boat. You know, y'all not strong enough. You know, it's like an animal. Y'all gotta come up on that animal shit, man. And that's the challenge for man. Man has to raise himself from beast, animal nature to a higher being nature. And even though that's good, like Bobby say, ain't nobody wrong. If you like it down there, bitch, you gonna stay down there. You sure the fuck ain't come with us. Anyway, this video was Lil YP. He was talking to a rabbi, you know, about the Jews and all kind of shit, and they destroyed that boy. He destroyed himself for, you know, the temptation and all kind of other shit that was put in front of him. But this video right here, I thought was very pertinent to the culture and to his cause of talking about our blackness. And I'm going to do a recap on here to show out a point. And it is actually came right on time because there's another video by Master Bobby that talked about the artificial human. What I'm drawing out is a big picture here. I'm drawing a story, an explanation of all the stupid shit that they done told us before, and black people and white. This is the world. This is a chronological diary of the shit that they done said and lied about, and the answers and the logic behind it. So you can really start to see that everything that they ever told you was actually a lie. So there's a brilliance behind what I'm doing. There's a brilliant reason behind the videos that I choose. It's actually telling a story. It's telling a story about some of the main issues that's going on in the true Black Americans community with the problems and the gaslighting and the lies that they're doing to us and that they've been doing. And a few of y'all keep falling for. So without further ado, this is Young Pharaoh. Talking about the you people and how y'all ain't nobody and y'all ain't really real. And again, I'm gonna do a follow-up video with Master Bobby with Artificial Human because it is written. It is written. We fucked up. Well, not we. Yeah, fucked up when y'all created another man. And that's the whole story. And even I gotta give a Blair also spoke upon the human man and mankind. There's different beings here. Now, y'all talk about that 3-eyed Atlas bullshit. If there's different beings in this universe, why y'all don't want to accept that they're different beings? And I guess that's why they keep hiding UFO shit so much, because they don't want y'all to know that we all not the same. Them things not like us, bruh. Straight the fuck up. And y'all can keep lying to yourself all y'all want. So, without further ado, and by the way, this is what I'm going to put on the screen. Cause I just gotta let y'all watch this white boy face. When Pharaoh blocked this motherfucker and him this motherfucker up. How you got that dick look?
Right. On this beautiful channel of mine, I have today with me a special guest who I will allow to introduce himself in a moment, because as you all know, I don't believe that anyone can represent themselves better than themselves.
Straight up. Roll it.
So I'm on my laptop today to ensure more sufficient functionality of this stream. You know, we don't want any hiccups because I've been getting hiccups from my desktop lately. So if things seem a little different, that's why. But with that being said, I have to lay out my framework before we start. I want my moderators to do what they always do. Censor.
I'm gonna fast forward a little bit. I don't want y'all to think I'm trying to cut this whole video, and I don't want this whole video. This whole be like 3 hours or something. So we gonna be rolling into some time here, man. It's gonna be a long video. But let me go ahead and shorten some of this shit up, and we'll be right back.
Became a rabbi about 9 years.
Alright, we back. This dude says his name Daniel, and he a rabbi. So I think I fucked it up. Hold on.
Bit of trouble in high school, like we all do. And
any of my conversations that I have with anybody from outside of, my particular train of thought or community, you don't have to agree with each other to respect each other and to interact with each other in a positive manner. Okay. So if aliens came down here, I guarantee we would not agree with their culture most likely, but that don't mean we can't positively benefit from one another's interaction.
You know what? I got this stick up my ass. What the fuck the aliens need from us? And we can benefit from each other. What can they get from us, and what will we need from them? What the fuck we want from each other like that? When all we doing is simply plainly existing. You don't want too much. The fuck you want? Some bush. You don't want nothing but the fuck another species. That's all you looking for. You got food. You got water. You don't need a motherfucking thing. That's some bullshit. Roll it.
Action. So I do these discourses to not only attempt to expand people's trains of thought, but to show that we can totally disagree on everything and still not battle with each other.
No, he got that you shit. He's scared. He trying to walk on eggshell. That's why I ain't about to get with none of these motherfuckers. I'm gonna say what the fuck I need to say. And the truth on what I'm saying. I ain't about to, I want my channel to grow, so I can't step on eggshell. Fuck you. How about that? Roll it.
If it's not necessary. And so, once again, I give you a lot of appreciation and respect for coming on my platform. And you can go ahead and introduce yourself at this time.
There you go.
What's up, brother? I call you brother because we're both from Adam and Eve, in my opinion. We're all brothers.
Nah, she start off with that fuck-ass shit. Back to the Bible, huh? That last rabbi said, it all started with the confusion of God. And here he goes, starting with the confusion of God. Well, we all started from Adam and Eve, like I told y'all bitch ass before. What if we wasn't in that garden and we were the people outside of that bitch? So, that shit you just pulling, we all sisters and brothers, that's null and void, my bitch. Null and void. So take that bullshit, that goofy ass shit, and stuff it up your ass and smoke it. Roll it.
Brothers and sisters on this planet, and I'm, what can I say about myself?
And by the way, they got a lot of hidden shit to y'all and lied for motherfuckers hear shit. So, 5 out of 10, bitch, you know. And them Jews, don't they hate Jesus? This whole so-called Bible story is about Jesus' descendants and the Jesus shit. Why is Jesus even in the Bible if this book ain't got a motherfucking thing to do with this motherfucker? Y'all lie too fucking much.
I became a rabbi about 9 years ago. I didn't grow up super religious, but I kind of found a spiritual...
His name is Daniel, and he became a rabbi about a year ago from that, whatever that video date was.
Calling after getting into my own bit of trouble in high school, like we all do, and kind of finding.
See, like we all do. What you trying to say, men or niggas, or like we? You know what? Everybody don't cause problems like that. Everybody not into being a bad kid. Well, we all did it. No, bitch, you did. Shit, roll it.
My path, and I ended up in Jerusalem. I studied for about 5-6 years, Torah all day in depth, learned Hebrew, didn't think I would, learned Hebrew, learned Yiddish, learned all that stuff. My parents are they're both from Africa, actually. My dad's from the southern area, my mom's from the northern area.
Look, you see how they say? Look how I'm gonna be ripping this bitch apart. We're both from Africa. Now he know they're not from there. And they moved there. But he gonna say that to try to make it seem like they from there. Like they some real nigga Africa. You see what I'm saying? the word games these fucking people play, the bullshit these people say, always trying to slide a hand a motherfucker. Speak with fucked up. Wrote it.
From Algeria. And they met on a blind date in Israel. So there's hope for all of us to find our...
So, Africa, what the fuck they do in Israel? See what I'm saying? These motherfuckers just say any damn thing. Anything to fit in.
Our soulmates. Don't give up hope to anybody. You can meet someone anywhere. And grew up in Southern California. And that's where you find me today.
But you here, though. So, we from Africa. And we in Israel. And then we met. What y'all continent hopping like that for? White folks, they don't know when the fuck to keep still. They always on a goddamn move. For what? They ain't never happy. But you know what? America is always people's last resting place. Because everywhere else is shit. Because the energy of the people here. Why y'all to stay in Africa? Since Africa, the motherland, and always the beginning. Why you didn't stay? It's so beautiful. Why didn't you fucking stay in Africa? I wish they would've. Roll it.
Pleasure to be on here. Thanks for having me.
Yes, sir. Beautiful introduction. And without further ado, we're just gonna begin this discussion. I believe that you have, I'm gonna say, a premise, for lack of better terminology, a premise that you would like to dispense to the public for them to absorb. And right now I'm gonna give you the time to do so. I'm assuming that you won't go crazy long, so I don't plan on stopping you, and you can go until you finish.
Thank you, man. I'm gonna try and condense 4,000 years of what our Jewish history in
4,000 years. I told you them people didn't hear that long. Them you-ish people? 4,000. That's all they got. 4,000. Wow. How long nigga been here? Okay, running.
To a few minutes, so bear with me. And if it gets too long, just cut me off. So, and also hopefully share some cool insights along the way. So, like I mentioned, Adam and Eve, from the Torah's viewpoint, which I'll call...
Here we go. Adam and Eve. I done told y'all to fuck up about that story now. See. I'm gonna let it go for right now till I come back on it.
The Hebrew Bible. Adam's name Adam comes from Adamah, the ground, because he was made from earth, but also Adameh, which means he was similar to God, meaning that we're created in God's image.
You hear that shit, huh? Now, didn't that last rabbi say that man has potential to be something, and a woman is the true potential? So, if man, Peter Wacker man, is the image of his God, then his God goofy. Roll it.
And we're told, the mystics, Jewish mystics, say that Adam and Eve, actually, you didn't even notice their body. Like they were such lofty beings that you kind of saw their soul. Nowadays, if we go to the beach or we see someone attractive or we see anybody, we're not noticing their soul right away.
No, that they're talking about man. Here we go. They like to put in lump sum, like every person in this world think like men. That's how they talk. That's how he talk. We not thinking about, y'all made women lustful by trying to, you ain't a woman if you don't like dick. Ooh, the men got a strip club. Ain't nobody want your sweaty balls. Ain't nobody fucking face. Now, y'all may like musty shit, cause niggas, y'all sad. Oh, I like when it's sweaty. Oh, you like stink shit? Scratch your balls and smell it. Smell your hand. Yeah, that's y'all behavior. Ain't no woman wanna go to no strip club and watch no nigga shake his fucking dick and put his nuts on your forehead. They already got skid marks. Imagine how that's gonna smell. Cut the bullshit. Now they try to act like women like male strippers when it was women strippers first. See how they flip that script?
We're noticing the body first, but we're told before the sin of the tree of knowledge, they saw the inner being of a person, and later you kind of notice the body or the skin. So, for me, it's kind of sad that our history is...
So how Adam and Eve fucking each other, and they didn't really know if there was male or female. You were just sleeping with stuff, or we just noticed the aura. I didn't know that you had a boom boom. I didn't know that you had a JJ. I didn't know. Roll it.
It's taken such a direction where we're so obsessed, not just racially, but also ourselves. How do I look?
Racially. Yeah, y'all obsessed with black people. I just saw that last video how y'all drinking liquid nigga. Liquid nigga. Not just obsessed with race, but they like to just throw everybody in so they won't feel like they alone in their deviancy. Roll it.
How's my body look? How
Right.
fit, you know? So that's Adam and Eve. And when we go down the chain, but you know, we're all going to die. So the soul is the only thing that continues with us. So to appreciate the
Right.
10 generations, and Noah has 3 sons. As you know, Noah has 3 sons. He has Shem, where we get the term Semites, Ham, and Yafet. Okay, we'll get into the Semitic idea because if Abraham comes from Shem 10 generations later, then Abraham had Ishmael and Isaac, meaning the Arab people and the Jewish people. So first of all, the term anti-Semitism, I know that's something we're going to get into probably later, is something that doesn't seem to make a lot of sense because there's more Jews aren't the only Semites. So we'll get into that. So Shem has a descendant from him is Abraham. Abraham, we believe, according to history, came from Mesopotamia, a city called Ur, which is the Chaldeans, Mesopotamia there, which today is probably the Iraq area, according to our tradition from around that area of the Middle East. And he, like we said, he had 2 sons, Isaac and Ishmael. And Isaac had 2 sons, Jacob and Esau. Now, in Hebrew, Esav. Esav is called also Edom. The Edomites, we believe, is from Esav.
See, hold on. I think he skipped the whole thing. He went straight from Adam and Eve to Esau and Jacob. See, nobody want to talk about the Cain and Abel shit. I know other people here before. They're going to make sure they skip over that shit. Roll it.
Book of Obadiah in English, I think, he calls him Edom. So it also says he was Admoni, which means he was like ruddy or reddish, but we'll get into what that could mean later. Jacob then has 12 sons, as we know, which are the 12 tribes of Israel.
Now, all of this that he's speaking of falls under this what they call Abrahamic religion. And everybody know that the Abrahamic religion started with the Great Division. The so-called North and South Egypt, or the East and West, something. I forgot what it was, but the Abrahamic religion started with the start of patriarchal. Because Abraham was told to follow another god besides the god his parents was worshiping. Now you tell me, who the fuck gonna come in if your, and I'ma just use Jesus. Your mom and daddy worshiping Jesus now. And before you even turn, I'ma see. And I'ma just say 18, 19. You say, fuck, they God. I'ma follow me another God. Now, first of all, where did he get that information from that other God from? Did the other God come to him? Did he seek out? Where did that other God come from? I don't understand that. Did he just appear by like an egg? No. Where did he come from? See, nobody want to talk about the details. They just skip all over shit and just fucking start talking. Because again, the devil is in the details. Roll it.
Israel, right? Jacob wrestles the angel and he gets a name from the angel called Israel. So that's the term.
Jacob wrestles the angel. Here we go with this shit. So now we wrestling angels and shit. When we wrestling angels, I want to whip God ass. How about that? If you can wrestle the motherfuckers, I can beat them too. Roll it.
Of Israel. So the father of the Jewish people, of the Israelites, is born and bred in the land of Canaan, in the land of what was going to become Israel. Unfortunately, the brothers don't like Joseph too much. They're kind of jealous of him. As we all know, many know the Bible story.
All this God shit now. Your brother jealous of you and don't like you. So it already started showing this patriarchal shit. They already showing it. They started fighting already. They start out fighting. The brother want to kill other brother. I don't like him. Why? But y'all want all brothers fighting. But y'all want other men around the nation to get together and work in peace and harmony. And you can't even stop two brothers from fighting. Now they from some so say the same blood, got the same mama and daddy. They can't kill Abel. His own brother. Look like that's all this shit is about jealousy. 24/7. Halves and halves not. Dependent division. Can't kill Abel. And you think all this time y'all ain't gonna get it together? That's all I keep saying. This shit ain't gonna get together. It ain't. Can't, ain't, won't. Roll it.
And they sell them into slavery into Egypt. Now, when there's a famine and the entire family comes down to Egypt, we're told in the Torah that the Pharaoh, your namesake, he sends them all into an area of Egypt called Goshen. So they have their own kind of area, their own ghettoized space, which is interesting.
Look,
because throughout.
Look, there he go. They just tell you what the ghetto was, like the island of Patmos. The ghetto was a place that they put all them little Jews on that fucking island. And what he just said, it was like a place to the ghettos. See? Tell yourself. Roll it.
History, Jewish history, we were always ghettoized, whatever country we lived in until now in America, but even then, we were in a separate place. So like an interesting fact is if you Google the word ghetto, you'll find that it came from Venice in Italy.
That boy. See how the synchronicity just rolls with this shit? Why do people keep blocking these U's away? I'm gonna tell you something. Hey, we was blocked out everywhere until we came to America. Because everybody knew about you, bitch. That's why. See, people always got this thing, yeah, strangers support you, and you get better love from other people in your family. You know why they say that fuck shit? That's because them strangers don't know your goofy ass shit. Let them bitches get a chance to know who you are and check your ugly ass out. They gonna fucking turn their back on your ass too. They gonna leave you high and dry hanging too. That's a misnomer. That's some bullshit. By strangers to help you out before your family member. Yeah, because a stranger don't know you ain't shit. Roll it.
In the 1500s, the Venetian ghetto. That was where the Jewish people were kept apart from the other people from Venice. So that's just an interesting fact in 1516. And this happened under Arab.
I think it's very pertinent to discuss and try to figure out and ask the people, why did nobody want y'all around? What is that? Y'all supposed to be God's chosen people. No, we know what they lie and shit. But hypothetically, y'all supposed to be the one true God's favorite people. Why nobody don't like you? Why nobody want you, the frog, around? What is you? Roll it.
People, everybody. Okay, now comes the Egypt story. Now, I know we can get deeper into this. I just want to kind of give a brief overview and we can talk about everything.
Yeah, you trying to confuse
in
Pharaoh.
Egypt, first of all, what's interesting to me, we'll get into it, but when you look at the hieroglyphics and things like that, and you taught me to do the share screen. So let me see if I can pull this up really quick. I just thought this was and we can get into this more later. Here we go. I'm going to share the screen right now. Share screen. Here we go. Application. Boom. So this is a mural from 4,000 years ago. Can you see it?
4,000.
Yes, sir. This is one of the few slides I have for this conversation, but I just thought it was interesting. So this is the relief from the tomb of, I'm not even going to try to pronounce that. And this is showing Semitic traders, possibly the Hyksos, which we can talk about later, from 4,000 years ago. If you notice, these were the native people in Egypt, and these were the Hyksos. So clearly, the original people of Canaan, the Semitic people, the Asiatic people.
Oh no. Asiatic. Now we're in Africa now, so why ain't nobody black as soot? See? They took this shit and painted it. Is it painted on the wall? After all these years, that paint look exactly the same on the wall? Or did these motherfuckers refurbish this shit? Did they revitalize this shit in their favor? But notice he said Asiatic. Just keep that in mind.
The Israelites, according to this mural at least, were not a white color. They were dark, but there was a different shade. And it seems to be that the Egyptians would paint the Nubians, those is it Sudan or the Nubians, people from South in Africa, like really dark, themselves middle dark, and the Canaanites a little bit lighter. But I just found that to be an interesting hieroglyph, which I'll go right back. I'm off the share.
Now, you have about a hieroglyph, but it's on a piece of paper. You should have took a picture of the hieroglyph, not a painting of the fucking hieroglyph. You know, y'all can't trust these people when they fucking rewrite shit and try to cover up shit. Fuck it, roll it.
Right, perfect. So, yeah. So, according to our tradition, when we were in Egypt, there was the 12 there was the plagues in Egypt, the Exodus from Egypt, and we came to a place in Sinai where we received the Torah from God, which is the Ten Commandments, and then Moses.
Why did Bill say he received the Torah from God? Nah, they received the Torah from God now. What God is that? Is that the same God that brought Jesus? Because I thought the Jews didn't like Jesus. See, pay attention now, because he's about to get slick on you real quick. Roll it.
Moses went up for 40 days and 40 nights, went up 3 times, so a total of 120 days and nights. And up there...
So you got Moses in your little book too, huh? Okay, so Moses is there. Adam and Eve is there. And Abraham is there. Okay, so we still tracking on some Catholic shit. Y'all still the same shit. Roll it.
He received the rest of the Torah. Now, what's powerful about this, we can get into this more too, is that it's the only time in history that we have a mass revelation. What's such a big deal about that? Is that if you look at any religion, it's always one person who has a spiritual experience, right? Whether it's Jesus, Muhammad.
Here you go. Now y'all know this all gonna be male-centered, right? Okay, roll it.
More recently, Joseph Smith for Mormonism, Siddhartha for Buddhism. So one person comes and says, I had this divine experience, follow me. The Jewish claim is that God spoke directly to an entire nation. And what's kind of crazy about that?
Nah. So if he spoke to the entire nation, what, he spoke to all the men? He spoke to all, did he speak to all the women? Or did he speak to both? And notice, he said he. So you talking about a man God. Okay. So again, put that pen in your cap and make note of that now. Roll it.
Like if I say right now, Pharaoh, I just had this, God just spoke to me. Will you follow me? You might say, you know what? I like what you're about. I'm going to follow you. And the people watching this might be like, hey, that's kind of cool. Maybe I'll follow it. There's at least a chance that could happen. But if I say, Pharaoh, you and I just heard God speak to us. Hey, everybody watching this right now, all of us just heard God tell us, not just tell us, how are you doing? Telling us we have to keep 613 commandments. You'd probably tell me to, let's say take a hike. So that's the Jewish claim. That all of a sudden, out of nowhere, an entire nation said, we're going to keep all of these commandments. And they're not easy. They're separated.
Okay. So according to him, what makes the Jewish people so special is God, so say talk to all of them at one time. That's his argument now. At one time. All of them. Okay. Roll it.
Waiting from your wife for a certain time every month. There's keeping dietary laws of kosher, which are, trust me, very difficult, as you know. So that's the claim.
Another thing. Why go and talk to people no more? They dead or what? He just do like most nigga parents. I'm gonna tell you one time and that's it. So what? Where you at? He just spoke one time and you off on vacation for the rest of his existence? Why isn't God talking to anybody today? If you can talk to him once, you talk to him twice. What's the problem? See? There's always some shit that they try to tell you that nobody can really prove. To a certain extent now. Because if my daddy, as a boy, stepped in dog shit, everybody can prove that. Only he can tell you, yep, when I was 5, I stepped in some dog shit. There's no record of that shit. The shit's gone. You didn't wash the feet off. It don't smell like poo no more. And you didn't grow the fuck up into a man now. So, stop with the fucking fairy tales, man. Roll it.
We can dive into that more, but just giving you kind of that. Then after that, the Jewish people, Moses does not enter the land of Israel. He passes away in the desert and then.
That gives us the Moses story. Same thing in the Bible, right? Isn't the Bible Christian? Why is the Bible called a Torah if it's the same fucking story? Roll it.
Joshua takes the Jewish people into Israel. He fights the wars, and the promise of God is fulfilled according to our tradition.
Now, if it's the same shit in the Bible, why do they have their own so-called book called a Torah? That's because each man wrote what they wanted to write and said God told them to. See? They got shit probably in the Torah that ain't in the Bible. See? Fake ass shit. Roll it.
I'm going to fast forward to the prophet Samuel. The prophet Samuel anoints King David.
Why they all got the same names? Samuel, come on, man. The one that they ain't got Genesis, Exodus, Leviticus, Numbers, Deuteronomy. It's the one that they ain't got Deuteronomy. You heard what the fuck I said. It's the one that they got all the same names. Job, Esther, Jacob, John, Matthew, Mark, Luke. Fuck. Corinthians, 1 Corinthians, 2 Corinthians. What's going on? Ephesians. What's going on? Roll it.
And what's interesting about this for our conversation too is that King David is also called Admoni.
Even King David, some of my Solomon. See what I'm saying? Same people, bro.
Which means, I'm not going to say reddish, I'll say like ruddy, which means he was at least, we see with King David that there was a variance in his color. And why is that not surprising? Because who was his great-grandmother? Was Ruth. And Ruth...
Hey, look, here we go with Ruth the Truth. Now, we all know that if y'all keep trying to claim all this is in Africa, y'all know these people black as dirt, man. Y'all need to stop that foolishness. Roll it.
The Moabite was a convert, which teaches us that Judaism we've always accepted converts. Somebody genuinely wants to join the people.
That's them lying. If God has a set people that they won't, ain't no, oh, you can come in and join. If God didn't choose you, bitch, you ain't got chosen. That's them backdooring shit. Trying to write shit. And then when the real Jews get a hold of all that text and shit, they done already wrote up in there to write them in. See? That's a trick. Bitch. Roll it.
Join. And because of that, we have a variance as far back as then of different color. Different color of people that anybody could convert. You'll find Jews in China. You'll find...
No. See, y'all letting anybody in. Did God deem these worthy? See what I'm saying? There they go. There they go.
Find Jews of every culture and nationality. I'm going to fast forward again to King Solomon, the son of King David, builds the first temple, and then unfortunately his son rebels as the king. And what happens is, because of that rebellion, there's a split, right? You got the kingdom of Israel to the north, and you've got Judah to the south. and they're split. And it was only Judah, Benjamin, and maybe some of the Levites, the tribe of Levi.
Now why they split? Here we go. Patriarchal fighting again. Here we go.
Who would serve in the temple in the south, and everyone else in the north and the east, where Jordan is now. And what happened was, as you know, with the 10 lost tribes, is that
10 lost tribes. So what was the other 2, the ones he just mentioned? All these lost tribes, bro.
I think it was during King Hoshea's time, there was an infiltration from the Syrians, I believe, and the 10 lost tribes, the 10 tribes, other tribes, were taken to be settled elsewhere after that war. There's a lot of archaeological evidence to Israelites and those who kept the Torah that lived in Israel in ancient times. I've been to Jerusalem. I've been to Masada. I've seen the ruins of, imagine, city upon city upon city being built on top of each other, means that over time, now that they're excavating, they're finding like civilization under a civilization under a civilization. So it's pretty interesting stuff. I encourage anybody to visit Israel.
That's the same shit in America. Israel's a fucking crock of shit. And ain't nothing but a dirty ass dust bowl. Ain't nothing but a scamming fucking goddamn country. If Israel's so goddamn great, every last one of y'all motherfuckers need to go right back to the business and get the fuck out of everything else. Roll it.
You can. And we see signs of the king of the house of David. We find.
Didn't this bitch say he was in California? Didn't he have about his mama to move to Africa? See y'all everywhere but the fuck y'all supposed to be. Bitch, roll it.
Find seals, coins, inscriptions, and we can get into that later. Then there's the Babylonian exile. This is the first time the Babylonian.
This mug hopping all over the place. He trying to fuck people's mind up and write himself somewhere that they don't need to be written. Nothing he's saying make no sense. Nothing.
Babylonians come in, they destroy. They win the battle, and the Jews are out. Most of them leave, and a lot of them go to Babylonia, and which is now, I think southern Iraq, or I got to get the exact location, Babylonia. And by the way, the Ethiopian Jews, we believe, the reason why they don't know so much, to keep so much of the, let's say, rabbinical aspect of Judaism, is because they were part of that original exile. So they didn't have the Talmud and the.
They were part of the original exile? Come on, man. Roll it.
Mission and everything, and they were exiled to Ethiopia. And there's actually a really beautiful story. I don't want to like take too much time off, but really briefly. It's cool. All right, it's interesting. It's a cool story. So I was in Jerusalem once, and I met a commander. He was an older guy, but he had served in the Israeli army. And he said he was part of the commandos that airlifted some Ethiopians in the middle 1980s to Israel, because there was a famine and there was starvation, and they kind of did a secret mission and brought like 1,000 Ethiopians, and 5,000. And he said on that mission, they could only fit a certain amount, so the parents wanted to give their children over. So the children were scared, but they said, you know what, it's for our safety. They took the children through the jungle over a couple days. They got them to the plane.
And there go them child trafficking already. They took them fucking children, probably raped them, and they had children from their children just to get another bloodline. So this motherfucker do shit like that. Fuck these bitches. Roll it.
And he said that one of the boys, the children didn't want to go on the plane. They had never seen a plane before. They're like, we're not going on this thing.
Children dumb.
So one of the older boys, he says, whispered in the ear of one of the kids, and the kid whispered to the rest, and they all got on the plane to go to Israel. And he asked the guy, what did you say? So he said, in the prophecies, it says that we will go on the wings of eagles to Zion. So I told them this is the wings of eagles. So they went on the plane, which is actually also interesting when we think about symbolism in old scripture, what it could mean today. You know, you and I were talking about technology earlier and the power of that. And also he said he was in McDonald's like 15 years later, and this Ethiopian girl, beautiful girl dressed in, she had her IDF uniform. She walked up to him with tears in her eyes, and she said, you know, you were the guy who helped save us and brought us to Israel. So I thought it was
yeah, now how much you want to bet they set up there and they started sleeping with them people? That's how they keep any little fucking shit around. Because them Jews ain't marrying other Jews. They keep, every once in a while, they keep hiding a nigga baby. They keep fucking niggas on a slick somewhere. Now, they're not marrying each other and keeping that fucking line going. They're not. They're taking motherfuckers. Roll it.
Beautiful story he told me. So we believe we're in a soon close to the time of redemption, a messianic time with Israel and with what's going on in the world. And perhaps that's what's happening now, where 10 lost tribes and people are starting to reveal their identities.
People starting to reveal their identities. Who the fuck revealing identities? If y'all crackers wouldn't have took and stole and lied and did all this shit, none of this shit would have been. I need to find out who I am, further. All this identity shit. Y'all the one that fucked it up for everybody anyway. For everybody. Roll it.
Friend, actually, we'll get to it in a second. So just to kind of finish off the history, I'm Daniel. The book of Daniel comes during that time of Babylonia, the story of Purim, Esther, Mordecai. And then Ezra brings back from Babylonia the Jews back to Israel, and they build the second temple. Unfortunately, very soon after, a couple hundred years later, the Greeks come and then the Romans come. And that's the Hanukkah story. But then,
right, so close, have the Greeks come, then the Romans come. Yeah, there they go. And let them, who let the dogs out? Roof, 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 roof. Who let the dogs out? That's why they smell like dog, they hair like dog, and they got fleas and ticks and lice and all kind of shit. Roll it.
The Romans come and the Romans win, and they wreak havoc. They killed over 1 million people in the city of Beitar, destruction. And if you go to, I've been to Rome, and if you go to Rome, you'll see the Arch of Titus, and inscribed in it is the menorah that they took, the golden menorah that they took from the temple. And it says that we were everyone was sent to the slavery, and this is where the diaspora starts. This is where the diaspora starts. This is where Jews were taken. You know, they renamed. First of all, they renamed the land Palestine. There was no source. They renamed it Palestine, and they took us on ships everywhere. We know North Africa. We believe Europe as well, which we can get into. And we were dispersed all over the world. We know in Deuteronomy 28:68, it says that all.
Look at this bitch, and they dispersed us all over the world. Who the fuck took these pink people and put them everywhere? Bitch, y'all came here. How'd y'all get to America? Anybody you brought your own funky ass over here. Anybody brought y'all nowhere. Who brought y'all in Australia, in Ireland, and all kind of, if y'all there, I'm just saying hypothetical. Anybody took you no fucking way, you goofy liar. Roll it.
Jews will be sent as slaves, and they'll be sent to Egypt. But 4 verses before that, it also says that the Jews will be scattered to the 4 corners of the earth. And we.
Oh, here we go with this lie. Scattered to the 4 corners of the earth. I want to know who took these cracker Jewish people. Where are y'all slave shit at? Like y'all do half for the black people. What boats and who was the captain of the ship that took you on all these so-called 4 corners of the earth? And what are these 4 corners? And can you show me where that evidence is today? Bitch, you're a liar. You're a lying ass fucking yellow teeth fucking liar. That's all they do is lie. Look how close his eyes are together. He's a fucking liar. Roll it.
See with historical data as well that that's true. And that's basically why you have European Ashkenazi Jews, you've got Yemenite Jews, you've got Sephardi Jews like my mother from Algeria.
That's because y'all just said y'all let anybody in. Then this is what we got to put it do. No. Y'all said everybody to erase what the fuck y'all trying to erase. Word. Hit it. Roll it.
Algeria, just to give you a little, I thought it would be cool. I found this. So this is a Hebrew Bible in French from my great-great-grandfather to show you what he looked like. Little right. Family. So this is, I don't know if you can see it. This is my great-great-grandfather. His name was Abraham Siksik. That's Oran in Algeria. And this is his inscription.
Well, I got pictures of my great-great-great-great-great. What the fuck are you talking about? This is my great-great-great-great-great. Get the fuck out of here. Roll it.
Probably be hard to see, but I hope I don't break this 120. It says.
And then look how it's my great. You can only go far back. Fuck. Because you gotta understand when the photography was being set in play. So all that bullshit and lying, that's how you go to show you not that old and your people that old. Because I can only go to, let me see, my mom, big mom, I can only go to about 5 generations back before we don't have no more pictures. Because I'm not old, but I'm old enough to understand and to know they ain't had pictures back in them fucking days. Not like that. Bitch, you got older meals came to your house? Or you went to the studio and took a picture? Who the fuck come on in the middle of a big old 30,000 acre and come and find you and take a picture? The fuck out of here. Roll it.
7th of July, 1886, Avram Siksik, and that was his French. Back then, they didn't have electricity, so they would use wax candles to read, right?
Okay, look how stupid this bitch is. They didn't have electricity. Of course it didn't, you idiot. The fuck, you goofy ass. Roll it.
We're pretty fortunate. We can get any book we want, anything we need.
Right.
You try to act like his history go back so fucking far.
And I'm finishing up right now. Lemba Jews in Zimbabwe, Igbo Jews in Nigeria. I have a friend who wants to do a documentary from Israel. He's going to travel there to check it out because some were baptized over time, some joined other religions, so we don't know. That's my main point is that we can get into the Egypt story, but the reason we believe all the Jews throughout history, even till today, are connected to those Israelites is because of the Torah, because we have concrete evidence of.
He just talked for no fucking reason. None of this shit he said make no fucking sense.
Of a Torah observance in biblical Israel, of mikvahs, which are ritual baths, imprinted coins from the times of King David, from all the kings. We've got mezuzahs, Torah scrolls, everything. So we'll get into all that. I'm happy to.
I guess so. Y'all done ran around the world, stealing everything. But yeah, we got this, and why nobody else got none? Cause y'all fucking stole it, bitch. And that's not even y'all shit. Y'all done stole that too, ragged ass motherfucker, goofy ass, old goofy ass. Roll it.
I don't want to talk forever in a row, but we never gave up on the land of Israel. Every wedding I officiate, people break a glass because we mourn the destruction of Israel. I pray 3 times a day facing Jerusalem. Israel has always been where we're from and where we're trying to go back to. This is not a new thing.
Trying. How about doing it? Go back. You and all your little yous, y'all go back to the caves. How about that? Roll it.
From 1948. It's always been our heart and soul of who we are as a people. And one final message, and then I'll pass over the mic, is Abraham is called the Ivri. He's called the Hebrew. And one of the reasons is Aver means from the other side, because he's from the other side of the river. But also Ivri means the other one, because all the world believed one way. They believed in idol worship and everything. And Abraham said no. Abraham said there's one God. And the whole world spoke against him. He said, no, this is the path. So it's a message to all of us to stand for what we believe in and stand up for one God. And thanks for letting me explain a little bit.
Okay, I just wanted y'all to hear his side too, to show you how these fucking people ain't got shit. All they do is talk some make-believe fucking bullshit. That when you really have a true ear of education and intellect and knowledge, you hear is garbage. What you hear is just a whole lot of babbling. It's a whole lot of them trying to cookie cutter and paste and copy shit together. It's nothing you say that's relevant to nothing. Roll it.
Yes, sir. Beautiful explanation. I kind of took notes as you spoke, just so before I give my spiel, I can just address certain things that I disagree with and expound upon why I disagree. First, we want to go to the story of Adam and Eve, okay?
This is why I had liked it, YP. Because he was very keen on it. Most people, when they start this journey, they start honestly and humbly. But as it goes, they lose it. They lose it. YP was on it. He had the spirit moving through him and with him and in him. But he fucked it up and rejected it, and he chose wrong, like they always do. So, without further ado, I guarantee you, the shit I done commented on, that little boy was so on point. I guarantee you the dude got the same fucking problems I got. Listen to this clown. That means you understand and can see the lies and able to question and address it. Roll it.
When we talk about, and first I just want to ask you, are you an Orthodox Jew? Are you an unorthodox Jew? Are you a Zionist? You know, what specific kind of Jew
context
am I having this discussion with?
Yeah, so I'm definitely Orthodox, meaning I observe the laws the way they are from the Torah and passed down, and also probably Hasidic Jew. Okay. So you see the Hasidic Jews in New York that look, I'm like a more modern version, but I'm like probably Hasidic, like into the mystical part of Judaism too.
Mystical. Right. Yeah, I only asked that question because I'm aware of, the slight differentiations, and I just want to.
Did this bitch try to call herself a mystic? All right.
Respect the ideology of who I'm talking to. Thanks. So when we not a problem. When we talking about the Adam and Eve story, right? The Adam and Eve story is completely falsified. And the reason I say that is because Judaism is a Freemasonic religion. And it is used to speak in code about astrology and genetics. For example, right? If we say the Torah, Ra, R-A, Ra is the sun deity. The monotheistic religions in totality are all about the sun. The Bible means Holy Bible. Holy means Helios, which means sun in Greek. Bible means Biblios, which means paper. Torah, which means sun. And same thing as the Quran, Ra. Now, the reason that this is important is because the Adam and Eve story is not a factual story that took place. It's a occultic story of genetics. Adam actually is speaking about atoms, and Eve is speaking about the mitochondrial Eve gene. And we know that atoms become molecules, molecules become cells, cells become organisms.
When that bitch says a lie, and that's all that Adam need, and he talks about the allegories and the symbolism, you saw that white boy face? Damn, he knows. Oh, good gracious, good goobly goo. Roll it.
Organisms become organ systems and cells become organ systems, and then organ systems become organisms. The mitochondrial Eve gene is a gene that is exclusive to Black people specifically.
Oh. I hope y'all heard that about the mitochondrial gene. Just like Henrietta Lacks. It's like the mtRNA. You see that jab, the COVID shot, that shit they gave y'all? That affected the RNA. That affected the mitochondrial gene. Do your goddamn nigga read? This is basic biology and science all day. If you graduate from high school, you got a good head start. Now, you may not understand some collegiate level you bullshit, but goddamn, go get a book, motherfucker. They gave you the preface on the science in elementary and in high school. Pay attention, people. Pay attention when people talk about mitochondria. Bust it.
Black women. And the story of Eve coming from Adam's rib is speaking upon DNA, because a DNA helix looks like a twisted piece of, it looks like a rib cage when you twist it. And so when we actually deal with the origins of the Adam and Eve story, it comes from Freemasonry, and it's talking about how Black women were the.
And you see, because the only way these crack-ass motherfuckers gonna have a story if they stick with the lies of religion. And esoterically and exoterically, those who know, we all know that religion is make-believe. It doesn't expound upon a truism of the spirit and the soul. See? And white folks gonna try to hold on as hard as they can to that fake shit, because that's all they got. That's the only way they can try to write themselves into our spirituality is through religion. And as long as they got you believing something outside of yourself, they got you. Exo. You gotta come back to self, eso. And once you internalize that shit and be in self, they lose. They wipe the fuck out. They ain't got a leg to stand on. They disappear. Roll it.
First people on the planet Earth. And this is important to understand because when we study ancient Egypt, which was constructed by my ancestors, we have to deal with matriarch or the matriarchal system of why Black or Africans or Black people allow women to be the intellectual dictators of society. And
that's because men can't. I'm gonna keep saying that shit till y'all fucking get it. I'm gonna stand on truth whether you like it or not. You ain't nothing but a fucking human to me. You don't make no damn difference to me. Truth is what matters. Y'all can die still believing and understanding dumb shit. That's on you, fuck. I don't give a damn about that. Get the fuck off this channel then. Roll it.
wasn't because we were weak. It was because we understood that our women preserve not only extraterrestrial lineage in their DNA, they have a higher process of neurosis, which means their brains can produce more cells and their brains develop at a higher capacity as exposed. I mean, as in comparison to men, which allow them to think and intellectually excel at a higher capacity.
Y'all hate accepting the truth. This boy, little dude, just told y'all the shit I've been telling y'all since jump. Master Bobby Hemmett told y'all the same fuck shit I already told y'all. Dr. Dibber Blair already told y'all the fuck shit I already told y'all. Dr. Jewel Pookrum already told y'all the fuck shit I already told y'all. When the fuck y'all gonna listen, goddammit? Get the fuck out of being in denial. Why is y'all so goddamn stupid? How many motherfuckers gotta tell y'all before you finally goddamn catch your head? It's just willful ignorance at this point. And that's why a lot of y'all gotta fucking go. The truth, they came to you 100 times. And you still refuse to. Well, get the fuck on it. Bitch, die. Kill yourself, you waste of fucking flesh. What is wrong with y'all? Why can't y'all accept it, you fucking animal? Roll it, goddamn. Because the more I keep understanding, y'all pissing me off to the highest point of festivity. Now this don't make no sense no more now. Get off the boo-boo, man. Get off the motherfucking boo-boo. Roll it, shit. Nigga, I said roll it, damn it.
This is why today, statistically speaking, Black women are the most intellectual people on the planet by race and gender.
Same thing like I told y'all about that HELOC. He ready to relax. He ready to relax. Why y'all still in women shit and y'all still in men shit? Cause y'all already know the goddamn game. Y'all already know the motherfucking game. Roll it, goddamn it, before I bust you in the face.
And so this is because of their unique DNA helix structure. So the Adam and Eve story is not actually speaking to somebody. It's an occultic story that's symbolically to how the universe manifested itself in.
Boy, look at him. They hate that little boy talking. His own video freezing up on
as
him.
woman. So the reason that's because if you still with me, we still here.
Yeah.
Look at him. Look at him. He might be fucking with that nigga video. Watch. What, that video done froze up on him. Oh, let me fast forward to this little boy video. This is why they don't want. Let me cut it. Okay.
Doing now is I'm muting this.
This is trippy. I got two of you.
Okay, perfect. All right, let me cut this one off.
Good, man.
Okay, I apologize, y'all. My signal was acting crazy. But long story short, so if the Adam and Eve story never factually, took place, then that means by default, everything else in the Bible, has not taken place. That's just, that's by default. So
and look,
that's just for
and that dude, his whole preface was trying to pull himself through being black and the God through this fucking fake ass book. That's all they got.
one. Now for two, you brought up Noah, right? And his 3 sons. Now, Noah landed according to biblical history, right? And I want to say this: biblical history or religious history or genealogy is not and has not been factually proven in the realm of actual science or history. So the reason that I say that is because it is difficult, not for me, but for the average person, it's difficult for them to prove origins of the stories, because the stories are completely from somebody's own, discernment and opinion. It's not from an actual point of reference. So I just want to make that clear as I as I get ready to expound upon this point. And if y'all give me 2 seconds, I'm transferring my USB back into my desktop because I want to put a image back up. But as I wait for that to load, when we dealing with biblical genealogy, right?
Yeah.
Noah comes from the Caucasus Mountains. The Torah, the Bible, the Quran all agree that when after the flood, right, the boat landed in Mount Ararat, which is the Caucasus Mountains. So now the
see, there we go to that Caucasus Mountain shit. See,
the issue that I'm having with
Caucasus, Caucasian, Asian right there. Pay attention now.
accepting Jews, black or white, claiming that they come from Israel, is because in order to establish political legitimacy or monarchy, you have to establish that you are native to the land or that you are descendants of those who were native to the land.
That's what's going on today with this FBA and this birthright shit and all that shit. These white folk that came and tried to sleep with our people, try to rape our people, to try to call claims to this land. I wish we could find a way to figure out who was raped and throw the motherfucker's lineage away twice removed. Rape don't classify as you part of this land. I'm sorry. Not sorry. They could have raped all who they wanted to. You not welcome. You gonna force yourself into the land? All these people that came here in 1492 to colonize and shit, raping people to try to steal some of their land? And y'all wonder why we don't deal with a lot of mulattoes like that. Because we know y'all goddamn strategic plan. You a human plan. To try to take over somebody else's fucking shit. You a war strategy, mulatto, mixed breed. You are a combat strategy. This is why nobody wants y'all around. And the people that create y'all, they know this. Y'all come try to infiltrate. Ain't nobody got no time for that. And y'all just get caught the fuck in the middle. Oh well. It's not no black people thing. It's a white man thing. Y'all better get on your white people about that. That's why they started fucking with people with that shit. Black people, don't get mad at us. We just don't want you around. Because we know you really ain't us. But don't get mad at the black people because we understand what you are. Get mad at the white people for creating that shit. Roll it.
Sure.
And if anybody is claiming that they're a descendant of Noah, they are claiming that they are descendants of the Caucasus Mountains. And so here's the issue that I'm having. Scientifically, according to the Australian Research Center for Ancient DNA, we can prove that white people, Caucazoid people, because even if you don't identify as white, the term Jew is not a genealogical description.
Thank you so much. And people keep having the same argument about shit that the proof and the information already out there. And sometimes when you fighting people on information, like Master Bobby said, the scholarship is already out there. The work has already been done. Bitch is presented. You ain't gotta debate and fight nobody no more. It's already done. It's like all that FBA fighting and immigrants and I ain't about to fight nobody behind this shit, bitch. Look at this shit. Read this document. Look at this declaration. Look at this evidence and proof. Now, you debate that shit. Don't fucking debate me, motherfucker. Like your boy say, I teach. Or else, I debate. I debate my equal. I don't debate no goofy ass motherfucker. And all y'all that too goofy for me to fucking debate. Because, again, all the scholarship is already done. Ain't no need for no more debate no more. Bitch, hear the proof and shut the fuck up and have several seats. Ain't like that. Roll it, goddammit.
You can't genealogically be a Jew. There's only 4 phenotypes. Dravidian, Caucazoid, Mongoloid, which is Asians and Koreans and all of them. And then there's Negroid, which is me and Africans.
Well, they had 3, used to be 3. Negroids, Caucazoid, Mongoloid. I don't know what the fuck happened. Maybe Caucazoid came, maybe some other shit, but they used to have 3. Dravidian is a new came into play. You know, but so she keep changing even in the middle of the fucking game. Roll it.
So Jews, whether you Ashkenazi, Khazarian, or whatever other terminology, y'all all fall genetically in the category of Caucazoid.
Thank you. I'm so glad you said that. So for y'all out there that's still stuck on stupid, all y'all white. Okay? So stop. Stop it. Well, I'm gonna tell you, and fuck it. You lie. Now, if you're a mutt, sure. And you own that mutt in the recent time. And then you still ain't us, so we don't accept mutts anyway. So you still Caucasian. That's still your people. We don't accept rape. We don't. So stop the bullshit and stop the boo-boo. Did you hear that? All y'all, this is what Tariq Nasheed be talking about too, with that white supremacy. All y'all white. Not all, man, fuck all. Roll it.
And Caucazoids, according to not only history, but biblical history as well, descend from the Caucasus Mountains. So we have to ask ourselves, if we were here first as black people, and we know this to be fact.
We know this to be facts. Roll it.
How, with the Middle East being an extension of Africa, our Caucazoids claiming that they are native to a land that not only they were never there, they were there and inhabited it after us. And so here's my thing, right? As I continue to go down, because I want to make sure I touch on every point.
That's just like here too in America. This is why this is important. Because y'all trying to do that shit with Africa. Man, fuck Africa. You doing that shit with America. Get y'all asses the fuck out of here. Roll it.
You brought up Jacob, right? Now, we know that there were no J's back then. And people say that there were Y's. Now, I disagree with that as well. But staying on that notion, Jacob would be Jacob, which people would say is Yakub.
Yeah.
Now, Yakub in Hebrew.
Oh, yeah. Yakub, the big head scientist, when they created people. Now you start to see how the shit tying in. Somebody made them bitches. Here we go.
Literally means subplanter. And the reason that that's critical and the reason that that's important as I get ready to share my screen right now. As a matter of fact, I'm gonna see if I can I'm gonna share it like this. So I'm gonna bring my other one up and then I'm gonna hit screen share and I'm gonna just pause. So let me come back in. And as I was saying, the reason that knowing the definition is important of Yakub is because once again, the Bible, monotheism is an entity used by Freemasons in order to communicate with one another.
And I dare anybody to challenge this young man. They made him fall off the wagon, but his words still stand. I'm still standing. Yeah. That he still stand. Just because a person themselves may fall off the boat personally, and their actions and everything, that don't mean whatever they said before wasn't true. Just like R. Kelly. They can beat R. Kelly over the head with all that shit. They can't stop that man's music. That music ain't got nothing to do with his little deviant behavior. Same thing they try to do with Bill Cosby. Bill Cosby, what he did for the black community, gonna always stand. No matter how much you want to tear him down. The Brown Hornet! You can't fool me with that. 10-speed brown shoes. I will always love Bill Cosby for the image and the character that he put out for the black people. So you can't shit on that. Goddamn cracker. Roll it.
And as I bring this slide up right now, I'm going to show you what they're talking about. Okay, so when we talk about supplanting, right? To supplant, they're talking about genetic engineering. Now, why is this important?
It's because the white folks always trying to put themselves somewhere. All the time. I got yet to hear somebody come up with some scholarship to refute what this dude saying. Debunk what little young Pharaoh saying. If y'all so bad. Woo! Roll it.
I'm not being racist. Let me pull up the damn article. This right here.
Before I continue, do you want me to put the definition of racist on the screen? Because y'all love to pull that race card. If anybody pull a race card, white people pull a race card more than black people. Y'all done flip the script and try to reverse psychology on a motherfucker. How about we y'all so racism? No, just because we say truth is not racism. So that's another one. Y'all get the fuck on out of here with that bush. Roll it.
Here is from Molecular Biology and Evolution. And this clearly states that if you are not a descendant, it says if your heritage is non-African, you are part Neanderthal. Now, the number specifically is you are 93% human and 7% Neanderthal. Caucasians.
Hold on. Them motherfuckers dug up shit and did the genome project and put a nigga under a microscope and all kind of shit. And that's the scholarship in a result. Your theoreticals, your theories, you know, you got the hypothesis. What do you call that again? Your thesis. You gotta keep repeating more than 3 times. If you get the same result 3 times consecutively in a row, then it's a proof. It's proven. So even y'all in y'all wickedness wrote down the fucking truth that's come back to bite you in the goddamn ass. Roll it.
From Dravidians. So when we talk about white people coming from albinos, here's the problem. They don't come from African albinos or Caucazoids, I should say. Don't come from African albinos. This man over.
Because hold on now. White people love to say, we albinos and black people. But why your big nose and your big lips and your curly head? Because we know plenty albinos. That's black albinos. They look just like us. It's just somebody dipped them bleachers in bleach. They done dipped them bleachers in bleach. That's it. They ain't even got blue eyes. Have you ever seen a white albino? Or an Asian albino? It didn't change your phenotype. And it didn't change your hair grain. And if I painted you black, you still look white. Rolling.
Here on the left is an African albino. You can clearly still see he's an African. This man right here, which kind of looks like you but has blonde hair, comes from this albino Dravidian. So everybody just looking at this picture would think that this is a white man. This is not a white man. This is an albino Dravidian. So basically, everybody knows who Dr. Shiva is. This is Dr. Shiva if he was an albino. Now, I'm going to tell you why that's important.
Thank you.
When we're dealing with science,
Church,
we know from Basic Science 101, two separate species cannot sexually reproduce, or they're called hybrids. Yep. So we coming back to Jake.
And I'm going to do my typical example of that. A donkey and a horse. They husbandry, what all husbandry mean is mixing and trying to have babies. A horse and a donkey equals a mule. But two mules can't produce a mule. That's a hybrid. Now that mule is no longer a horse. And it's no longer a donkey. It's something else. So for them, when we part black and we part white. No. You made something else. It's just like yellow and blue makes green. Well, I'm yellow. Well, and I'm blue. No, bitch, you green. A whole new thing, you green. You no longer look yellow, and you no longer look blue. You created something new. Out of something else. Just like the grapefruit was mixed with orange and lemon or some shit. It ain't a lemon no more, bitch. It ain't a goddamn orange no more, bitch. It don't even taste the same, look the same, smell the same. The whole genetics is different. So all y'all mulatto motherfuckers out here, that ain't got, y'all not us. So cut the bullshit. Roll it.
AKA yaka, which is a Hebrew word for subplant. And there's a story, and I'm going by, you know, your history. There's a story where they say Yakub engineered a species of people on the island of Patmos. And
see, they just talking about the island of Patmos. Now you remember they talking about that ghetto shit, and they had them Jewish people on the island, and they separated from everybody. That sound like the same shit. The island of Patmos sound like the island of ghetto. Don't that sound like the same fucking story? That's their garden of Eden. Roll it.
Yakub is a term for a subplanter, and Patmos is not only an actual island, it's a Freemasonic lodge called the Island of Patmos. So white Freemasons, specifically Jews, do acknowledge that they have genetically engineered origin. And so this once again raises my issue with the...
Did you hear what little dude said? Did you hear what this little dude said? They done already admitted this shit. So why aren't you telling your own goddamn people their own story instead of keep lying to them, pulling smoke up their goddamn ass, telling they black? Oh, you an Indian. Oh, you are all of that shit. I told y'all, in order to discover and unfold the bullshit, you gotta go to the root. You gotta go to the root now. You gotta go to the motherfucking beginning and unravel all that shit on top of shit, on top of shit. What a world, what a world, what a world. Roll it.
Except in Judaism, because not only do Caucazoid Jews have an inability to prove that they were somewhere first, they have an inability to prove where they were, period. Because if we deal with the terminology, right, before I go to, and let me check this off so I don't double talk. If we deal with the terminology, right, I'm gonna just deal with Ashkenazi and Khazarian.
Mm-hmm.
Khazar, by definition, means a wanderer. So there is no Khazarian Jew on the planet who can claim Israel when, even by the etymological roots of their word, they call themselves wanderers. Now, Ashkenazi is Ashkenazi. Now, Ashka means beloved, and then you have Nazi. And Nazi is the combination of the word national and socialism.
Yep.
So the word Ashkenazi means to beloved national socialism. So you have one handful of Jews over here who don't have a land by decree of their own title. Then you got another handful of European converted Jews who are secretly Zionist Nazis.
See, they say shit and try to be teachers of the world and teaching on their own self. They so dumb till they smart till they dumb. I told y'all the motherfuckers slow. I told y'all them things retarded. Look that pink boy in face. He got the dick look. I think he needs some baby ball. Roll it.
By etymological terminology. So once again, the Judaic religion is a Masonic falsified history used to falsely establish political legitimacy where there is none. Now, I want to keep going down on your points because we talked about the term, or you brought up the term Semitic, which comes from Shem and things like that. Now, the Torah, since we're dealing with the Torah, but monotheism as a whole is racist.
Same old 66, like Mark Lee say, same old 66.
And it promotes racism. Why do I say that? Because in the Torah, in the Bible, and in the Quran, they all specifically state that the descendants of Ham, which are black people according to biblical history, are to be the slaves and servants of Shem, which are Caucazoids, because Arabs are also considered Caucazoids. So the Bible, the Torah, and the Quran says that we're not only your slaves, you guys have a term for us that you call non-Jews, which is Goyim.
So they let Bible go. I told you, white folks try to make all kind of shit. Why? Why is it this way, man? Why did they write in their Bible? That's because that's the Abrahamic shit. And them niggas so stupid. Y'all believe in the Abrahamic religion. And the Abrahamic religion the one that said put niggas as slaves. Now, if you would have stayed with your mama religion, we wouldn't have been in this bullshit in the first place. That came with the confusion of gods. When that other God came in, nigga, you got confused. See what I'm saying? Roll it.
So another issue that I'm having with the Jewish community is when we speak on the Jewish community and we call them out for terroristic behavior, even in the doctrine, if anything promoting slavery is terroristic, they reply with being anti-Semitic. But if I was a religious entity, I could flip that and say you're anti-Hamite, because the Bible says, and the Quran says, and the Torah says that we are the slaves of the descendants of Shem, and you guys actually call us Goyim. And when you read the Torah, which I have,
and this is why them so-called Jews want people to believe they shit so bad, is because in their writings they made us their slaves. See what I'm saying? See what I'm fucking saying? So they came and gave us they shit they rewrote, and they try to say, you see, in the book it do say that, you see. Roll it.
It says that through the judicial system, hence Jew,
see,
that you can rob a Goyim. That basically, if a Jew is the plaintiff, and if the Jew is the plaintiff and the Goyim is the defendant, that the Jew shall always win. And I will pull the verse up if you need to see it.
See what I'm
and
saying?
So with that being said, not only is Judaism a non-established belief system, it's extremely racist, and it definitely promotes slavery. Now, as I continue to go down, right, Jacob wrestling with God, and you brought up the Bible, so I'll bring it up. In the Bible, Jesus says, "Nobody has ever seen or heard my Father." That's an actual quote. So if in the Bible,
that's why they killed Jesus.
Jesus says,
and see, that's why them damn Jews act like they want to kill Jesus. Because let me tell you something. In order to lie, you gotta have some truth in there. So don't throw the baby out the bathwater, like Master Bob say. They got some truth in them shit. They do. But just pay attention, because you need the spirit of discernment to figure that shit out. Roll it.
So the Bible, the Torah, and the Quran.
I don't know. I could have been eating damn potato chips in the middle of the shit. You understand what I'm saying? I might have to go back and edit, but I ain't too partial to editing some bullshit. You understand what I'm saying? 120 something, blah, blah, blah. Roll it.
Says that we're not only your slaves, you guys have a term for us that you call non-Jews, which is Goyim. So another issue that I'm having with the Jewish community is when we speak on the Jewish community and we call them out for terroristic behavior, even in the doctrine, if anything promoting slavery is terroristic, they reply with being anti-Semitic. But if I was a religious entity, I could flip that and say you're anti-Hamite, because the Bible says, and the Quran says, and the Torah says that we are the slaves of the descendants of Shem, and you guys actually call us Goyim. And when you read the Torah, which I have, it says that through the judicial system, hence Jew, that you can rob a Goyim, that basically if a Jew is the plaintiff, and I mean, excuse me, if the Jew is the plaintiff and the Goyim is the defendant, that the Jew shall always win. And I will pull the verse up if you need to see it. And so with that being said, not only is Judaism a non-established belief system, it's extremely racist, and it definitely promotes slavery. Now, as I continue to go down, right, Jacob wrestling with God, and you brought up the Bible, so I'll bring it up. In the Bible, Jesus says, "Nobody has ever seen or heard my Father." That's an actual quote. So if in the Bible, Jesus says nobody has ever seen or heard my Father, how the hell could Jacob wrestle with God? And also, how did God speak if nobody?
Like I was saying, this is why you gotta bite off of this shit very slowly. You gotta chew it piece by piece. That's why they like to keep talking consecutively, a whole flow to lose you. They try to lose you in a conversation. Because if you tell 30 lies back to back, it's going to be hard for you to find the first second one. See, that's why they talk the way they do. It's a fountain of fucking lies rolling.
Never heard or seen God. And then here's my question. Not only do we have to prove, okay, because if Israel is the original land of Caucazoid Jews, and it's an extension of Africa, why, if Jews are naturally from Israel, why is Israel the second largest? Why does Israel the second worst nation in the world involving sun cancer? Because if y'all were naturally supposed to be over there, it wouldn't have sun cancer at a level that high to where it's literally the second worst in the whole world. There is no nation in the world outside of the top, I mean, within the top 3 nations in the world suffering from sun cancer. Israel is number 2. So there's no way that you can naturally prove you're original to this land, even if we take the Bible out.
Just like that video just like that damn video I had posted earlier. They can't handle the motherfucking sun. But they always trying to be somewhere else sunny.
Out of it. If we take the Torah out of it, if we take the Quran out of it, you can't even live over there. And so continuing on, right, as I go down, right, I want to ask this question. When we dealing with the Exodus, which means by definition a mass departure, right? This story says that 600,000 white people, according to Caucazoid Jews, because I know you wouldn't consider yourself white, so I'm going to say Caucazoid because I'm dealing with phenotypes. According to Caucazoids, 600,000 Caucazoids migrated out of Egypt and then wandered the desert for 40 years. Now, any Caucazoid person watching this, I'm not attacking you, but let's just be clear here. You couldn't live in the Sahara Desert for 40 days. Let's just be honest here. So you want us to believe that 600,000 Caucazoids left Egypt and then wandered the desert for 40 years and made it to Israel and established a nation. Meanwhile, you can't even go to the beach right now without getting sun cancer. So for one, that is scientifically an impossible story. Now, when we dealing with Egypt, right, and the Jews, you know, historical times and events in Egypt, right, and if possible, I would like you to write these down so you can answer these.
Yeah, I'm writing the whole time.
Yes, sir. They say that the Jews built the Temple of Ramesses during their time in Egypt under enslavement of the Pharaoh Ramesses, right? Now, I'm going to tell you how that's false. Egypt is a 100,000-year-old civilization. The Egyptologists are complete liars, and they totally fabricated the story of Egypt. Now, the reason I'm bringing that up is to prove not only was the Temple of Ramesses built before y'all allegedly got there, but here's the issue I'm having. And I want to give a shout out to a good friend of mine, General Seti, for this point. John Champollion, which was not a linguist, never, ever, ever went to school for linguistics, but somehow was accredited with being the decipherer of 4,000 Egyptian hieroglyphic characters with a 26-letter alphabet. Somehow, John Champollion claims off of the cartouches in Egypt, he was able to decipher the word Ramesses. And this was in 1822. So the reason that this is critical and the reason that this is important is because in the 1611 Holy Bible, the King James Version, it states that the Temple of Ramesses was built by the Hebrews under terms of enslavement. Now, the problem with that is, how did a word that came out 211 years after it was allegedly discovered end up in a book that was written 211 years allegedly before it was discovered? So that's the issue. And the reason I'm bringing that up is because these biblical stories have been recently modified and then backdated to give themselves an ancient presence where there is none. The oldest Torah, according to National Geographic, scientifically documented and carbon dated, is from the 1200s. It's 800 years old. And by you being an Orthodox Jew, I am assuming that you're well aware of the fact that Orthodox Jews don't believe that the Torah can be read. And the reason that that's important is because the reason that Orthodox Jews don't believe that the Torah can be read is because the Hebrew language was not fully established until 1881 by Yosef ben Yehuda. And the Old Testament, which was allegedly written by Moses, could not have been written by Moses because the Hebrew alphabet, which is nothing more than a combination of German and Yiddish, did not come out until after Moses' death. So how did Moses write a testament in a language that did not exist during his lifetime? Now, as I continue to go down these notes to respond to what you said, okay? Another question I would like for you to answer is this. Let's assume that Moses was a Caucazoid, okay? And I believe from my research, Moses is a fictional character that's plagiarized off of the Pharaoh Thutmose III. But let's just deal with biblical genealogy here and religious ideology. If black people was on the planet first, which we know this to be a fact, and Caucazoid entities have been on this planet for no more than 4,500 to 6,000 years, right? Why did God never speak to us? Why did God watch us live on this planet for millions of years? Watch us navigate this world.
And they gonna come and talk. They gonna come and talk to you when the white folk get here. Man, these motherfuckers, y'all crazy. Goofy ass. Roll it.
Years. They found Egyptians in the Grand Canyons. They found Egyptians in Japan. They found Egyptians all around the world, not just in Africa. Egypt was a global empire. Black people were the first people to circumnavigate and civilize this planet. And all of our history is being hidden. And the reason I'm bringing that up is because why did God wait until the white man or the Caucazoid man stepped foot allegedly into Africa to decide he wanted to speak to them as his chosen people? Because the reason I'm having an issue with this doctrine is not only does it promote pedophilia, because it does. The Torah says that you can molest. I'll pull a verse up if you need to see it. The Torah says that you can molest a little girl, and it doesn't matter as long as she's 3 years. I'm about to pull it up right now. So not only does the Torah promote...
Now y'all see all this so-called deep state shit, all the stuff that's wrong in America, and it's going around the world. You see them, that you man say, yeah, then they try to throw it out everywhere, but they didn't throw it out of America. That's why. That's why all this sex trafficking, all this other stuff, and because, they know, man. They know the patriarchal side. They know these motherfuckers love sex and perverseness. And it's easy. It's easy to coerce them motherfuckers. All they did was let the cat out the bag. Pun intended. Rolling.
Pedophilia, it promotes slavery. But the real question is, if what made God decide he want to talk to Caucasians or Caucazoids and ignore black people for millions of years? Straight up. And if we know that black people were here first, if we were to actually acknowledge the Adam and Eve story, the Adam and Eve would be black by default, which means all of the descendants of Adam and Eve would be black by default. And the reason that this is important is because the Bible is based off astrology, as I stated. The 12 tribes of Israel are nothing more than the 12 zodiac signs. For example, the tribe of Judah, which is the lion, is nothing more than the Leo constellation. This is why Jesus told his disciples, when they get to a certain location, they'll see a man bearing a pitcher of water, because the pitcher of water is the age of Aquarius that we're going into as we're leaving the age of Pisces. So all of these monotheistic religions are actually based off astrology, and they're nothing more than occult platforms that Freemasons use to communicate with each other. And the reason I brought that up is because you brought up the definition of Abraham, who is the father, who Moses is a descendant of. Abraham, by definition, means Abram. That's how you originally, the original spelling of Abraham is Abram, A-B-R-A-M. A-B, Ab means before, and then
and that's that same thing as the Brahmins. The goddamn Indian people, he knew that they love to keep niggas in slavery. The one that they say, they had niggas in slavery first. The Brahma, the bull. Them motherfuckers. Rolling.
R-A-M is Ram, which means the zodiac sequence before the constellation of Aries, because Moses represents the age of Aries. This is why when you look at any statue of Moses from antiquity, he has horns like a ram, because the Bible is just based off astrology, and the Torah is based off astrology. These are not actual events that actually took place. Now, as we continue to as I continue to, go upon some points that you made, or speak upon some points that you made, also, I wanted to talk about the commandments in Mount Sinai, right? Because Sinai, by definition, just means heat and high point of the sun. And we have to ask ourselves, in dealing with reality, Moses, especially if he was white or Caucasoid, if Moses was a Caucasoid, it's no way in hell he went up at the highest point of that mountain underneath the sun and came down without sunburn, let alone was he strong enough to carry some giant stone tablets. That's not physically possible.
Not realistic.
It's not logically possible. Just like the story of Noah's Ark. If we by definition deal with the story of Noah's Ark, and we deal with it from a realistic point of view, all of them animals would have started to fight and kill each other out of hunger. Also, they said there were penguins on Noah's Ark. So we have to ask ourselves.
Hold on. That's another thing. So them penguins walk all the way from Alaska, from the snow, and can't meet this bitch? See what I'm saying? None of this, he had every animal now. So did every animal have to go meet him? Had to go meet Noah and him? All the butterflies, all the ants, all the insects, all the mammals, all the reptiles, all the amphibians, everything had to meet up in one spot. And then they had to have food for all of them. That's like that slave shit. Logistically, it don't fucking make sense. So what the people was eating, they was eating animals. They only had two of each. So what the fuck the people was eating? If you kill one, fuck, that was it for the Lion Kingdom. You got two birds. You kill a male or a female, that's it. You just killed the species off. What the fuck? That don't make no fucking sense. Make it make sense? Oh, rolling.
How the hell did animals that are not native to Africa get on an ark, survive in an environment that it is impossible for them to survive in,
and then go back to where they came from when it was all over? That don't make no fucking sense.
And then end up on other continents that the ark never even went to. And the story of Noah's Ark is stolen from the Egyptian story, Nu Ankh, which is a spiritual boat that my ancestors said you get on when you righteous, and it takes you into the realm of Duat, which is the spiritual realm. Now, continuing to go down, right? I want to talk about Exodus again, because the Exodus is very important to Jewish tradition, especially when we're dealing with you guys' holidays, specifically the first holiday in the month of Nisan, which is March, via the Passover. Now, according to biblical rhetoric, the Passover took place when God slaughtered, I believe it was rams, and if it wasn't rams, I'm gonna just say animals. God slaughtered animals, sprinkled their blood on specific doorsteps so that he could differentiate the Hebrews from the Egyptians allegedly, and God passed over Egypt and liberated the Hebrews from Egypt. That story, via that it took place in March, once again is allegorical, and the Passover is just symbolic to the sun passing over the equinox as it comes from the southern hemisphere back into the northern hemisphere. So what's happening is astrological allegories are being taken as factual events, or they're being misinterpreted as factual events that never happened. Now, when we continue to go down this, as I continue to go down this list of talking points, and I think I got like 5 left. Once again, I want to come back to the Temple of Ramesses, right? Because you brought up Egypt. There's no way that Caucazoids were enslaved by, I'm assuming, and I have to ask you really quick, and you can answer this yes or no. If you believe that Hebrews were enslaved in Egypt, do you believe that the Egyptians who enslaved them were Negroid like me or Caucazoid like people that are not me?
I think neither. I showed you the hieroglyphics, so I believe they were dark, but not necessarily like Western African dark, but Northern African dark.
Okay. But motherfuckers hate to say it. They didn't look like you. They would have could have been the same old game. Same old game.
Now I want to bring this up. Right? Because my ancestors left clear, they didn't leave no room for misunderstanding about who they were. Okay? They didn't leave no room for misunderstanding. You can clearly see black people on this wall. Black, black, black. Let's go to another wall. Black, another wall. Black. Okay? Now we come here with the Greeks. You see what they doing, what them Caucasoids doing, but you also see they not black. So you see where homosexuality and pedophilia come from. But let me keep going. Black. But wait, let me keep black. Okay?
No, now you try to hurry up and then wait. Well, it is a whole bunch of pecker woods on that wall. Because you can see by they pecker. Rolling.
Now, there's another thing you brought up, right? You brought up the Hyksos. Now, the Hyksos are invaders to Egypt. And as you can see, you see the pharaohs right here fighting the Hyksos. This is a black man or a Negroid fighting Caucasoids. So let's just be clear on that. The Egyptians have not only genetically been proven to be African, just like they've been genetically proven to be vegan, but they historically let us know that they were black. So the question is, how did...
Here's them shooting all the noses and all the faces off of these ancient things. They were so pissed off and mad that they couldn't do nothing like that. That's why they made the little Greek marble stuff and was that Michelangelo with the little David and the naked boy with his ball showing? They couldn't do it. So then they had to turn around and make that little pointy nose bullshit. But why they naked? Why they just don't have no naked shit like that. Neither do the indigenous people on this side. Y'all the only ones with naked statues. Always perverted. That wasn't a ancient thing. That's a Renaissance shit. That's them pink people always want to see a naked statue. That's because they're nasty. That Mr. Brown said, stop being nasty. They're just nasty. Oh, nasty. Roll it.
Black people enslave a bunch of Caucazoids and teach them to build a temple that was already there. Because if we taught y'all how to build pyramids, you would have built them for yourself. That's just period. That's just period. There is no pyramids. There is no extravagant monuments in Israel that could even hold a candle.
You know what? Why ain't they got pyramids in Israel? Why don't have nothing in Israel? Ain't that some shit? Roll it.
To what Africans built, not just in Egypt, but all around the world. And another thing I want to bring up is this image right here. Okay? Now this image is called Smiting of the Enemy by Pharaoh. Now this image also, this is a painting from the pyramids. You see what color my ancestors said the invaders were. So here's my thing. What Judaism is attempting to do is it's attempting to inject itself into Black history from a fictitious point of victimization.
Well said. Well said. Well said. I couldn't have said it better my goddamn self. Roll it.
Never happened. You were not slaves in Egypt. You were invaders. And if I'm lying, then prove to me that you are who you say you are, and that the people in Egypt today are who they say they are. You cannot do that, and the Arabs cannot do that, because you were not victims of Egypt. You were invaders and destroyers of Egypt. Now I want to go here, okay? If you look at these pyramids, right? These pyramids have water damage and sand damage on the south side of these pyramids. And 250, listen to the word, 250 genealogists have confirmed that these pyramids are no less than 30,000 years old. So that means not only the pyramids, but the temple of Osiris has been confirmed, and the temple of Ramesses has been confirmed, the temple of Isis has been confirmed, and all of them. If the temple of Ramesses was built at least 50,000 years ago, how did we enslave y'all for y'all to build it 6,000 years ago when we built it allegedly before we even knew you? So that's a lie. It never happened. Now, as I continue to come down, right, and hit two more of your talking points, I just want to pull this up. I want to pull this up right here, because I don't want nobody to ever think I'm lying. Okay. Now we talk about we talk about the Torah, okay, and we talk about the age of the Torah. I want to just hit this real quick. I want to hit this real quick. Okay, so you brought up the Torah, right? Now I brought up backdating, and I want to make this clear again, since we talk about Ramesses, so you can see where I'm going. In 1822, Jean Champollion allegedly deciphered and discovered the word Ramesses. Yet, in 1611, King James wrote that the Hebrews were forced to build the temple of Ramesses underneath the dictatorship of Pharaoh Ramesses. Now, here's the problem with that. As I stated, how did a book insert a word into it that allegedly didn't come out till 211 years after the book was written? And I'll tell you why. Because what your community has done is you guys have created this story, and then through the invention of the printing press in the 1400s, you have backdated the story to give it ancient existence that it does not have. And one example of that, okay?
And the crazy shit is, people that really study scholarship, archaeology, phenotype, etymology of things, words, we all come to the same goddamn conclusion. Everybody eventually figured out these motherfuckers lies. We all figured out. Because ain't nothing really hitting now. Understand that. It's a mass inclusiveness. These some lying ass motherfuckers. Rolling.
It's from right here. Carbon dating confirms the world's oldest Torah scroll. Okay? And if you look at the date, it's from 1155 to 1225. So the oldest Torah scroll is not even 800 years old. So this is why we don't see y'all in museums. You see us in museums. The British Museum alone, just the British Museum alone, has 14 million artifacts that is stole from Egypt, even though it only puts.
They even talking about returning artifacts again. Just in this month. It's November 2025. November 2025. They just talked about unanswered shit that people stole. Artifacts that these pink 1492s and all kind of other colonized people done took from these people. All they do is take. Steal. Lie. What your mama told you? If you lie, you steal. If you steal, you kill. And all of the above. It ain't a multiple choice for them. They C. A, B, C, D. All the above. Y'all lie. Y'all steal. And y'all kill. That's who y'all are. That's what y'all are. Cause you ain't got no place here. And it's eating your ass, chapping that little red ass up. You ain't got no goddamn place here, none. Rolling.
10 to 100,000 on display. They have 14 million in that basement. You don't see no Israeli artifacts nowhere. You don't see no Bibles or no Torahs or none of that have been validly proven nowhere. The Rosetta Stone is fake. It's not real. So Caucasoid history has been completely falsified and introduced to Black people in order for y'all to give us a fictitious validity of historical existence that y'all do not have. So I want to say this before I end here. And I want to make sure, I want to say this before I end here. This is my last point. If you take away religion, right? Because I would like for you to explain to me your history and your genetic origins without using religion. But
this gonna be the booty pie right here. Did y'all hear what that boy say? The little dude say, I want you to explain your origins, who you is, and who you come from, without using your fake ass religion. Now that's a motherfucking question for you. That's the main goddamn question.
If you take away religion from non-Black people, if you take away the evolution theory, which is also a lie, from non-Black people, Caucasoids have not explained where they come from. So I want to be clear on that. Outside,
because beside that Darwin theory, they say they came from apes now, and then he gonna turn around and say, Adam and Eve, God made man like him. So how the fuck was God a monkey? So God a monkey. God made you in his image. So God must be a monkey. Roll it.
If God made man from dust and, using monotheism outside of the evolution theory, which both have been proven to be falsified, both have been proven to be lies.
Which lie you want to tell?
If we take those away.
What lie you going to stick with? Either you're a monkey or God made you. Which one? Fucking grape ape ass. Oh, grape ape. Grape ape. Roll it.
Hey, okay? Y'all have not explained where y'all came from. We don't really know y'all. Y'all just walked up on us one day, told us that y'all was missionaries, gave us a damn book, and we've been believing it. And so outside of answering the questions that I've laid out.
Because we were treating them like people. See, that's what happens when you treat animals like people. See? Just because they sort of look like you, don't mean they're you. You.
I would also like for you to explain, if you can, your origins without using religion and without using evolution. And I guarantee you cannot scientifically or historically do it. Now, and I'm done.
All right. That was quite something. All right. I wrote down everything that you said.
Yes, sir.
I'm going to attempt to answer every single one. The idea that we started with the mitochondrial Eve, I actually think is a beautiful discovery, because up until I learned about that concept, anybody who said that we started from one human.
It's a beautiful discovery. So it's recent that you discovered about mitochondrial Eve. So that go to show you, prove you're not a monkey man. Now, we discovered about mitochondria. So that means everything precursor to what you were saying, what about y'all use? You just found out that they lied?
Human, like Adam and Eve, the Bible story, people laughed at it. They said, that's not possible. And then the scientists were like, well, maybe we did come from...
Look at him. Yeah. Look at him. Look how
yes,
he just
sir.
started.
Yes, sir.
Okay. The fact of Eve being black, like, I'm not coming here to say that humankind didn't start black. Like, I'm not at all coming to say, I don't know. I think that the idea of mitochondrial Eve and us coming from her, like, let me put it to you this way. Tell me what you think of this.
Oh, he backpedaling.
See,
before
you go, not to cut you off. Before you go, I want you to understand what I'm saying. What I'm saying is, you are not a descendant of the mitochondrial Eve gene. So what I'm asking you or any Caucazoid to do is to establish genetically where you come from. So let me throw the numbers out, because I want to be all the way on the table so you can honestly answer it.
Okay.
And I have the science. I can pull it up right now.
And look, I'm not debating everybody start up black. He ain't what he talking about. Stop dancing around the goddamn topic. Answer the goddamn question, goofy. Roll it.
You need me to.
Tell me.
Caucazoid people, Caucasian people, okay, have 98% chimpanzee DNA with only a 2% difference. They have 87% canine DNA, 90% mice DNA. They have chicken DNA, and they have fruit fly DNA.
And this switch y'all keep swirling with. And you wonder why we sick today? You wonder why we got so many retarded ass kids today? We ain't had that many diseases like that many physical impairments. And the more y'all keep breeding with these rats, the sicker you gonna get. Why y'all running to sleep with this thing this man just told you what their makeup is? Did you understand what the dude just said? But y'all ready to lay down with this shit, and I love him, no daddy. Roll it.
And that is a hybrid combination of species that do not sexually reproduce. And this is science. This is not racism. I'm not attacking no, but this is science. So what I'm saying is this. We come from the mitochondrial Eve DNA. We don't have Neanderthal. We don't have that. We have thinner skulls. Y'all have thicker skull. We are two different species. And that's okay, because I understand extraterrestrials and all of that. So I'm not attacking. But what I'm saying is, where do you come from genetically?
I'm going to go ahead and answer everything you said in order, and I'll get to everything.
Just answer any fucking question. How about that?
So again, the idea, look at Malcolm X. Malcolm X had a tinge of red hair. Why is that? Because he had a white grandfather.
Why you gotta be talking about somebody else? We talking about you, bitch. You. Run it.
So the idea that race and color of skin can change over time, and I'm not even talking about 2,000 years or 3,000 years, even less, is clear. The color of skin can change over time. That's something that, so it's not a...
Look, he ain't even addressing the question. He talking about now, and people mixing and shit, and this bitch ain't even answering the fucking question. He bullshitting now. He's straight up bullshitting. He ain't answering the question. He still ain't answering the question. We asking about him. He talking about Malcolm X. Did y'all catch that? Y'all catch that deflecting? Every time we ask them about them, they talk about somebody about us. Roll it.
Fight between, were the original Jews dark or were they not? Besides the fact that we mentioned about King David and other converts joining the Jewish people, and clearly when you're dispersed over time to all across the world, there's going to be changes.
Nah.
But not only that, but also the the change in skin color is something that totally makes sense according to science. I was actually researching it before our conversation. It goes both ways. Skin color can go darker, like people from northern India. When you meet people from southern India, you'll find people's skin darker than from the northern region.
That's because they still mix with a whole bunch of niggas. We told y'all black people everywhere. We told y'all they hiding black people on every country in the little woods, in the little forest, and they push them off into another section of the country. And they'll never, ever, ever, never, ever, ever, never, ever, ever, never, ever, nope. They put them somewhere. And when you go to them countries, if you don't do your own tourism and walk around and explore the land for yourself, you ain't gonna ever find these nigga-ass people somewhere else. Here you go, he's still talking about other people. Roll it.
Why? It's the same people, but when they came to an area that was a hotter climate, it affected them.
Oh, Lord. Okay. Why, since 1492, y'all got motherfuckers living in Africa, South Africa, like Afrikaners. Why y'all ain't turned black by now? Why your lips ain't turned big? Why your nose didn't get broad? And why your hair didn't change? See, here we go with that color bullshit. Why white people, they've been in Australia for a good while. Besides mixing racing, if y'all just stay, y'all little plain white folks, and go somewhere and keep breeding, y'all not gonna change color. And it ain't even about the color, but like that anyway. What does your phenotype look like? There's a phenotype attached to color, you goofy ass. Where did them nose and them lips come from in that hair? So stop bullshitting, bullshitter, roll it.
There's no question it goes both ways. And if you go to from Israel or from Africa to Iceland, it's going to affect your skin color over the centuries. So that's the first thing I wanted to mention. And there are rabbis that indicate that we were darker at the beginning of time. So Moses, you were talking about being a Caucasian.
We were darker. Oh, y'all mean y'all was niggas first? And then y'all, are you just saying you were just a dark white boy? Which one is it? Was y'all niggas first? And then y'all mixed it with us, and it became you? Or you was just a dark white boy? With a tan? Seasonal? See, he's trying to throw in confusion. What are you saying? Were the Jews original black people? And y'all mixed races, and now y'all white? Or did the Jews been white, and they were just tan? So which one is it? Roll it.
I don't believe that. And I want to get into Ashkenazi because I probably hear this the most about Ashkenazi. I mean, you saying that Ashkenazi, that it's Nazi socialism when the concept of the name...
Look, he ain't even... Hey, man, ask y'all. The little dude ask you where you from, my nigga. Where y'all people from? Where you come from? He ain't say shit yet. We been in this bitch for 10 minutes deep, and he been talking about everything else but the goddamn question. Roll it.
Ashkenaz goes back over 1,000 years, and they somehow the idea of socialism and Nazism, which is something that came up in the 1800s, you're saying is something that goes back 1,000 years, makes no sense to me. Neither does judicial. Like I practice jujitsu. I know you're a martial artist. I practice jujitsu. You think J-I-U in Brazilian has to do with Jew? Sounding words together doesn't mean that they mean the same thing. But let's
look how he lied. Look how he lied. You know what that boy mean. Look how he trying to debunk the similarities of things because that was the breadcrumb. Get the fuck out of here. Jiu-jitsu is a new term. Get the fuck out of here. Roll it.
Push that aside. And I'm going to go to the Khazar thing too. So who are Ashkenazim? According to our tradition, Ashkenazim were those Jews that the Romans destroyed. Jews went to the Spartan went to the Iberian Peninsula, which became Spain and Portugal in that area. And after the Inquisition in 1492, they got pushed to
1492. He's still talking about modern day shit. This boy here asks you, where are y'all from? Answer the question. He may not keep bringing it back to life, but I'm going to keep bringing it back to life because you still ain't answered the question. Prove where you from. Roll it.
Sfarad, which is Spain. That's where the name Sephardi Jews come from. In 1492, the Christian church in Spain said, Jews, goodbye. Either convert to Christianity or you're dead. So, once again...
Look here. Look, he trying to put in there. You see there was killer. It's a convert or you're dead. Nobody want to hear your side story, bitch. It's not what the boy asking you. You got some cheese with that wine? What that little mini violin you playing at? Roll it.
by the way, in the last 1700 and on average, every 21 years, one out of over 80 countries have expelled their Jews from where they live because there was a claim of killing Jesus and the blood of Christians, even though the Torah says that we're not allowed to consume blood of any kind. Even
see what I'm saying? If y'all killed Jesus and y'all pushing the Bible shit, wouldn't it be right, motherfucker, be staking and hunting y'all ass? Somebody need to hunt y'all ass if y'all don't want to kill Jesus. Rolling.
From an animal, that was the blood libel that Jews killed Christian children and had their blood. So over history, we've been libeled and kicked out. My point being, Ashkenazim were those that did not go to Turkey or one other place. They went from Israel to Rome, to Italy, and from there to
I'm coming back with it. I'm bumping the thread. He still ain't answered the question. Still. And he dancing all around that bitch. That's how to go to show you that it's facts. Y'all so smart. Y'all act like y'all the geniuses of the world. Why you can't answer a simple fucking question? You monkey knuckle dragon mix, I don't know what chimera ass. Roll it.
The Danube Valley and the Rhineland areas of the Roman Empire. How do I know that? How do I know they're not Khazars? Khazars are, let's just give the theory for those that don't know. I had to research it after reading so much about those theories. Khazars, the claim of Khazars is that Ashkenazi Jews, light-colored Jews that are from Germany and Russia and Ukraine and all those places, descend from a Turkish royal tribe that converted to Judaism in the 8th century. And after that, they went to Russia and Ukraine instead of coming from Israel and Babylonia. So few reasons why that doesn't make sense. One is in as early as 321 CE. You want to get into history? Here's history. 321 CE. There was a letter from the people of Cologne, Germany, writing to Emperor Constantine. And they ask him, can we have Jewish residents live by us? And Constantine writes back, yes. And Jews were able to come to Cologne. That's 400 or 500 years before these supposed Khazars. Okay? And by the way, there may have been these Khazars, these royal people that converted to Judaism. That's great, but that's not the source of Ashkenazi Jewry. Let's go to DNA. You want to talk about DNA? There's a DNA link.
Wow, I had to pause this. This dude, and nigga still ain't saying nothing. He's still not answering the question. I hope Pharaoh's strong enough and solid-minded enough to not let this fool try to scramble his mind and deter him and make him forget what the fuck point he was on. Because they like to do that. They like to keep talking till you forget to bring back the main points. See, that's why you gotta stop a motherfucker. Why they talking? Just, wait a minute. Roll it.
Between Ashkenazi Jews and Sephardic Jews. There's a link between Ashkenazi Jews and Middle Eastern, not African, Middle Eastern ancestry. And there's no link between Khazars. So all the genetic studies, for the most part, I know there's books out there like the 13th by Arthur Kessler. You're going to find, you can find books on any theory you want, but mainstream history and DNA research shows that there's research in the year 2000, there's a year in early 2000s of Ashkenazi Jews having similar gene pools to those from the rest of Europe, North Africa, and the Middle East.
2000. Yeah. Y'all still breeding with us. That's why y'all such in a rush to breed with us in this day and age. Because that truth starting to prove you ain't you. The hunt is on now. The confusion is on now. You talking about in 2000. Niggas, it's 2025. Y'all done fucked enough niggas to try to take that shit. We're not talking about 2025. We're not talking about 1999, bitch. We talking about before. Now, if all you can do is talk about some modern day shit, that means you too new. That's what we trying to tell you. Bitch, you just got here. You never existed. Roll it.
And the same as other Jews. So Harry Oster, Marcus Feldman of Stanford, and others that were more similar than we are similar to the people that we were around. Why? Because the Jewish people always had to be kept separate. Another problem with the Khazar theory is that the Khazars, by the year 1000, around then, seem to have vanished. And yet we only see Ashkenazi Jews in Russia and Ukraine about 400 years later. So the timeline doesn't work. And my favorite one is the idea of Yiddish. By the way, Hebrew and Yiddish are different. We'll get into the Hebrew language.
Answer the question.
Yiddish is a German and Hebrew mix. It's a Creole. Creole language is when you take your native language and then you combine it with the language of the country you move to. There's no Turkish really any.
That's a fucking lie. It take a Maryland name that you move. Look, ain't nobody moves nowhere. Plymouth Rock land on us. We didn't land on Plymouth Rock. So all that we moved, nigga, y'all took people language. Ain't no we moved to the language you. We didn't never went nowhere. FBA, Indigenous America. Why we speaking English and we in the fucking England? Huh? Rolling.
Turkish components to Yiddish. Yiddish is literally the Hebrew and the mix of German and a bit of the Latin that came when we got exiled by the Roman Empire from Israel to the German area. For example, when I bless God after I eat food, in Yiddish it's called benchen. Maybe you've even heard that, like to bench. Bench is benediction. Benediction is the term for blessing. So Yiddish is a clear example. And by the way, the same goes for the Sephardic Jews that spoke Ladino. Ladino was Spanish and Hebrew together because we went from Israel, from Hebrew.
I hear you talking, but you ain't saying shit. He ain't saying nothing. He just yapping, flapping them little thin-ass monkey lips. And he ain't saying nothing. That boy saying a whole bunch of nothing. Because he ain't talking fast, he just listening slow. Roll it.
Hebrew to a Spanish-speaking place. So medieval, the Jews that we call Ashkenazi, it's just a name that came up later, about 1,000 years later. Those are the Jews that were in Germany called Ashkenaz. Those are the ones that we believe came straight from Israel. And by the way, Europeans never looked at us as white. Like when there's paintings, Michelangelo and others, they paint the Jews as darker, as different.
Can't answer the question.
You know, even when they painted Jesus as white, which by the way, I feel like that's something I'm happy, like I want to say for the community at large. It's messed up that in literature and in artwork, Jesus and biblical figures are always painted as white. It's very doubtful that they were white like that. So that's totally something that I don't accept.
So y'all did it,
Do you subscribe to Jesus?
No, not as the way Christians do.
No.
Right. And you're aware that the Torah says that Jesus is in hell burning in
okay. So let's divide up all the things you said, because you say New Testament and Talmud. Okay, sorry. So like when you mentioned the stuff about, I'm going to get to it later, but you talked about something.
That boy ain't answering another question.
King James Bible says that the Jews built Ramses in Egypt. We don't have that in the Torah. So we'll get to that. Regarding the Talmud claim of Jesus being punished in hell, there are...
You hear how he's speaking fucked up? Now, how long this boy been talking? And did he answer the goddamn question? And I know he didn't, because I keep stopping every once in a while to remind you that he never fucking answers the question. He never answered the question. This is how you know these people ain't people. This is how you know they ain't nothing but lies and fakers. They not like us. They not like us. Roll it.
People that say about certain names in the Talmud that it's referring to Jesus. But first of all, like you said, we don't have the J in Hebrew. We use the Yud. So in Hebrew, Joseph is Yosef. Jacob is Yaakov, or Yakub in Arabic. Jesus would have been, let's say, Yeshu. Every example, Jew, which we can get into the term Jew is not a term that we use. Like it's used in America. Like when I say Jacob to you, I'm speaking in the English so that we understand where we're coming from, but we don't speak like that in Hebrew. Okay, so my first point I want to make with all that is that with Ashkenazi, Jews are not from Khazars, legitimately from Israel, just like the Sephardic Jews, and we were exiled to foreign places. And also, okay, so let me just see the notes. You talked about, first of all, Freemasonry, you probably know 1,000 times more than I do, but I did look it up. I read that Benjamin Franklin created it. I don't think he was Jewish.
That's not true.
Oh, who? Oh,
I just don't want nobody to miss.
Look, he trying to get YP off his square. Look at him. Now he gonna try to bring and ask him another question to throw him off what the fuck he said. Boy, you think y'all slick? Yeah. I've been around the belly of the beast all my life. I went to school with y'all. My sister and my brother didn't really get a chance to until they was older. But I've been going to school with these crackers all my life. All my teachers was paint. Except for The three of them. Because when they divide the lines of schools you go to, some of them just be little black schools, some be white schools. I happen to grace the white schools. This is why my mind works different from most people. Because I actually got a chance to learn and absorb some shit instead of CJ and run. C-Spot run. Run, Dig, run. That boy ain't answered the fucking question. Roll it.
Okay, no, that's cool. And you can come back at me later, but Freemasons, I personally don't know a lot about, but okay. The next thing, what I'm trying to say is not just Jews. I imagine there's a lot of different members of Freemasons, but I'll let you go on that one. You talked about Goy. First of all, I know that Goy seems to be a derogatory term. If you go to the Torah, the original reference, Goy is used a lot, and it means nation. So like the Jewish people themselves are called a Goy Gadol. God says, I will make you into a great nation. Goy is used for nation all the time. The literal translation is the way Jews would call anyone who wasn't Jewish. Goy was...
Dagon, I will make you a great nation. Now, I don't know who the fuck they talking to. You will make them a great nation if they lie and fuck up the original people. Because whatever God they got, we ain't got the same. I don't know what the fuck kind of God they got. But I guarantee you, it ain't the same one that we got rolling with us. So yeah, that split in that Abrahamic bullshit about the God said he gonna make us and all of this shit. Yeah, you did. Y'all took them knuckle-dragging motherfuckers and y'all made them run the entire goddamn world. So that's what your God give for you, to do evil and wicked deeds. So in order for you to get that, y'all had to do wicked shit to original and true people. That's what the fuck really going on. And again, that boy ain't answer that question. Roll it. Where you from, boy?
That this is another people. So it's possible that some people might use it derogatorily, but the term Goy does not mean that. It means a nation. And just one thing on the side, you didn't talk about it, but one thing that just gets on my nerves is when people say Jewish means you're sort of Jewish. When you see a Polish person, do you say you're sort of from Poland? Jewish in Hebrew, ish means a man, means a person. So Jewish means a person who's a Jew. And again, it's English.
Tricknology, he attacking that. He attacking tricknology and some of those words a few, goofballs said. So he just trying to prove, some of that nigger scholarship, that jailhouse scholarship. They ain't got nothing to do with nothing. Nobody give a fuck about it's Jewish and it's ish, and it don't mean we... Well, answer the fucking question. You still ain't answer the question. That's my goddamn point. Roll it.
So any of these terms in English, while we're at it, because I think we talked about... I know you didn't mention it, but I just want to, while we're doing names, anti-Semitism, Semitic, and I know there's a big hot topic today with Nick Cannon and with Professor Griff and Minister Farrakhan. How could I be anti-Semitic if I don't believe the Jews are Semites, right? So I want to just divide that quickly. The term anti-Semite or Semitism came in 1879 by a German guy named Wilhelm Marr. He wrote an essay called The Way to Victory of Germanism over Judaism, and he coined...
You know the W is actually a double V. Wilhelm. That's why in those times, those W's, thing that so-called started with W, was actually pronounced with a V vernacular. William. It's two V's put together to actually make the image of a W. And just a little food for thought for y'all to understand shit. That's all. Roll it.
Anti-Semitism, because he wanted to turn people against Jews racially. He said, these are not white people. They're not one of us. And he created what's called Anti-Semiten Liga, which means the League of Anti-Semites. And it was committed to stop the threat to Germany of the fact of Jews being there. We got to remove them. Okay? So we didn't choose that term. Today, culturally, we use anti-Semitism for, like, if someone sprays a swastika on a synagogue, the news will say that was anti-Semitic. We know what that means. We don't think they're trying to say that was anti-Arab. Culturally, we know what it's saying is it's anti-Jewish. If you don't feel comfortable with that title, and you want to call it anti-Jewish hatred, anti-Jewish prejudice, anti-Jewish, that's cool. Like I'm not married to the anti-Semitic. I didn't choose that term, but today it's become the same. So those are two different things. Now, is it anti-Semitic for someone to say, like you're saying right now, that someone like me who identifies as a Jew is not?
I just want to show y'all how these pink people do. How these Caucasian and these monkey knuckle dragging dust busters do. That boy has talked all the way around the world. And you best believe he's aware of what he's saying. You best believe he's avoiding the question. He's evading the question. He's not going to answer. Either they don't fucking know, which I doubt, or they do know and they don't want to admit and condone. Because again, that shit would tear down their little paradigm. Just like this Donald Trump shit and this Epstein. The reason why the government and nobody really bust that case open, because it would destroy their white supremacy. All the little leaders that little white folks think was on their side to help them, kill us so they can take our shit, is actually the one feeding off everybody. Is actually the one doing all this sick shit. So of course they're not gonna arrest and expose all these people, because they all white people heroes. All the white people leaders, all the motherfuckers that they look up to, the ones they think that's gonna save them. Now, the white folks sit up there and figure, we got Trump, and his name's somewhere around there, so if we expose, man, all y'all did was fuck yourself. Now that they just said they're gonna release some goddamn names, let's watch them turtle out that motherfucker. Just like that white boy turning his ass out of answering that fucking question. They do the same behavior. Now they're gonna have to find some way to either redact all them names and just leave something out with Trump like nobody else exists. In his Epstein bug. Nobody exists now but Trump. Come on, man. Come on, man, make that shit make sense, man. Because y'all know damn well this shit don't make a damn lick of sense at all. That's why Papa, at all. Roll it. This boy still ain't say shit. That goofy ass motherfucker. Hey, boy, y'all waxing his ear? Maybe, you know what? This is why I can't talk and debate white folks. They gonna make me hurt him. They gonna make me snap the piss out of his mouth. You sit up there trying to monkey me in real time, knowing fuck well the question I asked you, you ain't even got the intention to answer that bitch. That's why I can't fool with them. And they wonder why we don't care for them too much. Nobody care for y'all. All y'all do is fucking lie. Roll it. I said roll it, goddammit.
Jewish, I'm not going to go that far to say that. It's very insensitive. It's something that I believe is untrue. But that's not my issue. My issue when someone like Minister Farrakhan or Griff says, I can't be anti-Semitic, I just hope people don't take that to mean that all the hatred and persecution done to us, not people who, us, the Jewish people that not even talking about the 6 million killed in the Holocaust, which I've visited and I've been to with survivors, and I've seen the hair and I've seen the shoes and I've seen the scratches on the walls from people being gassed to death. I've seen all that stuff. I've seen the ashes of the dead. Let
me tell you something. Y'all own people was killing y'all own people. Y'all own white folks was killing y'all own fight. I don't want to hear that fucking sob story. The scratches on the walls, when the hair that they kill everybody with. Who fucking was responsible for that? Was niggas responsible for any of that shit? So stop telling us your fucking sob story. Why y'all figure y'all gotta tell black people what white people done did to you? Nobody wanna hear that fucking shit. Cry that shit to other fucking white folk, cause niggas don't wanna hear it. Roll it.
Polish government kept. I've seen it all. There's been pogroms. There's been massacres of Jews every single generation, and it's something that I want to make sure when we say I can't be an anti-Semite, you can discuss these issues if you want, and we can have this debate. But anti-Semitism, the hatred or destruction of people like me that identify as Jews, that I believe are the Jews, exists. Period. It exists.
So you don't know. Okay.
That's something that, as long as people keep that, that's fine. And like whatever you want to call it, call it. And I don't even like talking about anti-Semitism only because like that interview with Nick Cannon with talking about the Holocaust. That's not the issue. Like I don't want to always go towards the Holocaust when we're talking about stuff. But I do want to say that anti-Semitism is alive and real. Nick Cannon and I both come from San Diego. When I was praying services last year, Yom Kippur, police came. Why'd they come? They said there was a shooting at the synagogue 10 minutes away. In Poway.
Pharaoh,
a friend of mine, Lori Kay, she gave me my first donation to my youth organization. She was shot dead in front of her daughter and her husband. And her husband was giving her CPR and passed out because he didn't know it was his own wife who was shot, killed by this white supremacist. This stuff is going on all the time. And I don't want to, in Brooklyn and New York, there are
if it's going on all the time, you might want to take a look at your own people and figure out why the fuck y'all so fucked up and why nobody likes you. Use it as a good reason for that. Use it, and let me tell you something. I'm gonna just use this as a regular base. I can't call him human, but an experience of being human. If people don't like you, it's probably a good ass fucking reason why they don't. And if you gotta go everywhere, and everywhere you go, nobody don't like you, bitch, you need to understand what the fuck going on. Maybe y'all need to deep dive and try to figure out why nobody like y'all fucking ass. How about that one? Answer that, bitch. Roll it.
African Americans beating up Jews too. I don't want to say it's an epidemic, but it's happening almost weekly. Where a guy getting hit in the head with a brick by someone just because he's Jewish. So the words of people like Minister Farrakhan, even though he did beautiful things, with the Million Man March, I'm sure he's done great things. He has said things that you can take it and get pissed off at the Jews, and you say things that can get people angry at the Jews. And even though you're totally open to freedom of speech, just know that your words have power. That's all I'm saying. I want to get to the other stuff that you said. So you said that New Testament says that Yaakov could. Okay. How could Jacob wrestle with God? How could Abraham hear from God? We don't mean that Jacob literally wrestled with God. It was a spiritual thing. We have to be able to read the Torah text in a more spiritual way. The fact that God chose to speak to Abraham first is something that I can't tell you why. If God chose, he believed this was somebody who was standing up to his generation, then I'm sure God spoke to Noah and spoke to other generations too. But Abraham was the one who started this new path.
See? Hold on. He said Abraham was the one who started this new path. Right? So, like I told y'all before, this Abrahamic religion is about Abraham worshiping some little old fucking God that came from I don't know where and told him, y'all give you as many children under the sun as the stars. Y'all need to figure that one out. Y'all need to figure out who the fuck is this God that came to Abraham, and why did he leave the God that was working for them to worship a God he ain't never fucking know in his life. See, right there, the devil's in that detail. Be mindful, folks. Roll it.
And that's what prophecy was when God was able to speak directly to humans. We're at a low time in history where that's not as common. When you talk about sun cancer in Israel, you're welcome to rebut this after, but I Googled that and I looked at the top 20 countries with skin cancer. Israel wasn't even in the top 20. I know it's hot in the Middle East, but I didn't find that there. Maybe you're saying the heat of the sun, but the actual rate of skin cancer, I didn't find it in the top 20. Maybe we have different articles. And by the way, if you go to Israel, you won't just see Ashkenazi-looking Jews. You'll see dark Jews, Sephardic Jews, Mizrahi Jews, Yemenites. So there's a lot of Jews that can handle the sun just fine. When you talked about 600,000...
You know damn well he talking about y'all white folks now. Stop lying.
Caucazoids left Egypt. How could they handle the sun? We do believe there was a lot of miracles to survive the desert. There was the clouds of glory. There was manna, food coming from heaven. So obviously you have to believe in miraculous stuff, which you don't. I totally understand that. But to understand a people living in the desert like that, you're right. It has to take miraculous stuff. But again, I don't think they were white looking, those Jews that left. Go ahead.
Before you continue?
Go ahead.
I just want to, do you see that on the, or did it load up? You see that?
Not yet.
I don't know why. I see it on mine. I got it. I'm sorry.
There it is.
You see that? Israel's skin cancer rate second highest in the world.
What does it say right underneath? I just can't see it.
It says underneath it, skin cancer rate in Israel is among the highest in the world. The Israel Cancer Association reported yesterday at the end of 2000, there were 3,631 skin cancer patients in Israel, and around 200 die every year from the disease. So I just wanted to bring that up so I'm not lying. I'm not making shit up or trying to, attack. I just don't want you to think I would just throw some bullshit out. But you can go ahead. I just wanted to put that up.
God is ass.
Fair enough. And I want you not to know that I'm also not lying, because I looked it up after I heard you say it.
Okay, all the fuck up, bitch. He can look it up all the fuck he want. That boy just showed you the fucking proof, you goofy hoe. He just showed you y'all dying, motherfucker. Like you don't know. Well, I don't think I was lying, because that's fine. It doesn't matter. As long long as he showed you what the fuck it was, then that's what the fuck it is. Roll.
Just want to quickly show you what I was looking at. I just Googled it quickly to show you that I'm not trying to like pull a fast one. So can you see my screen?
Yeah. Let me bring you up. Yeah.
Top 20 countries on a global skin cancer index, 2018. These are the top 20: New Zealand, Australia, Switzerland, Sweden. Now, by the way, not because it's hot, but maybe because of their skin. They're having such light skin in places like Sweden, Norway. They get it easier, right? So these are the 20 that I saw.
Y'all dying because of the sun. That's the fucking point.
And I Googled the top. These were the top findings. You know, these are the top countries that I found. So that we can go on, but that's what I saw. Me and you can look this up later. It's interesting.
Right.
Okay, fair enough. So, working our way down, you said that Jews built the Pyramid of Ramses. That's BS.
Nah, God gave us a miracle when we was walking through the desert. Why he ain't give y'all a miracle now? You in Israel dying from the sun right now. Where your God at in his fucking miracle to give you automatic suntan lotion? Where you at? Here I go. Where you at? Why he ain't help you with them fucking studies they talking about y'all dying? Roll.
I'm with you. Like
I want to be the temple. The temple. Yeah, the temple. I just want, it's just words, and I know what you mean, but it's not true. I just don't want somebody watching to come jump and say you saying something. So I just want it to be understood.
Interrupt me anytime. We're all searching for the truth here. So, we
all searching. No, bitch, we know the truth. You still searching. I'm still searching a lie. I'm still hoping you can search to find out and hoping somebody is wrong about what they're saying in their research. That's what y'all searching for. You trying to hope Pharaoh ain't telling the fucking truth. You trying to hope you can find something other than what is being said here. We ain't trying to find the truth. Bitch, you is trying. Roll.
Read the actual Torah. We only read the 5 books of Moses and the books of the prophets and the writings. I don't know what it says in the King James Bible. The Hebrew Torah letters have never changed. If a Torah scroll with over 300,000 letters has a wrong letter, we don't use it. It has to be the same throughout history. So the Torah itself, I don't think it says what we built even. It just says that we built with stones. We had to build stuff. It doesn't even say the Pyramid of Ramses or the temple in Egypt. It doesn't say, according to what I've learned, anywhere in the Torah what we built. So I'm not denying what you're saying about who built the pyramids and who built that.
Hold the fuck up. It ain't got it in there because you ain't built shit. Occam's razor. Roll it. Fucking goofy ass bullshit.
I'm not saying the Jews did that. You said that the oldest Torah scroll was from the 1200s, and you found an article and you proved the 1200s. If you look up the Dead Sea Scrolls,
those have been proven to be fake.
I met the guy who's the top researcher. They've not been proven to be fake, but we can disagree on that. The Dead Sea Scrolls and other writings before that Torah scroll do exist.
You always know that they just happen to find shit to validate their lie. But they don't never find nothing that happened to debunk their lie. You ever noticed that? Fucking fake ass. Get your $2. You know what? Fucking $2, cause $2 real. Get your $3 ass the fuck on out here. Roll it.
You talked about the Hebrew being a mixture of German and Yiddish. Now, Hebrew, not only do we believe that Hebrew is a language from thousands of years ago, we believe God formed reality with Hebrew. That Hebrew was when it says God spoke. By the way, it's a beautiful idea. When it says that God blew a soul into Adam's nostrils, but it says God said, let there be light, there was light. God said, let there be a sun, there was a sun. God said. The idea is that God doesn't have a mouth, but human beings are analogies to understand God.
How the fuck he know God ain't got no mouth? They done said plenty of times about God walking inside a man. God blowing. How you blow shit without a mouth? How you speak without a mouth? What, they reading God mind? So why even create a mouth if you don't need to talk? Why create ears if you don't need to fucking hear? What is this motherfucker saying? What is he talking about? None of this shit don't make no damn sense. Oh, well, God ain't really had a mouth, and God ain't... Well, why the fuck you saying what you're saying then? Why not just say God put it in certain fashion? Why not just say God made certain things? Why you gotta put human personification on shit? I thought these were words of God. If I'm God and I'm writing you some shit, why the fuck would I say I blew in his ear when I ain't got no fucking mouth? See what I'm saying? Devil's in the detail. Boom, boom, roll it.
On a much deeper level. So when I speak, me and you can speak the whole day and not lose our breath. But when I blow breath out, it takes a while for me to get it back because it's coming from a deep place within me. So when we say God blew a soul into Adam's nostrils, we're saying that God gave a deep aspect of God, meaning a spiritual peace, a divine, not peace, because God is everything. There's no place devoid of God, but a divine peace into a human being. That's the human soul. That's why we have to treat each other with so much respect, because each of us has a piece of God.
Bitch. You gotta treat each other with so much respect. Yet y'all pink motherfuckers going around the world killing and destroying everybody and everything. And you want us to turn the other cheek while y'all doing what y'all doing to people? Come on, man. Make that make sense now. I told you all that shit was designed to make you think God said don't hurt no BP. All this shit is your defense. I see why Hitler did what he did. Y'all sick. Roll it.
In us. Not a piece physically. Again, we have to use our third eye. We have to use our spiritual side to understand what that means. We all have a spark of infinite light of God within us, whereas the rest of the world, from leaves and trees and the sun, is just the outer speech of God, so to speak. It's external. It's not the deepest place. We don't worship the sun. We don't worship anything. That was Abraham's mission. We only worship the one God. Nothing else comes. Torah means instruction in Hebrew. I know, and by the way, it could be that other languages in Egyptian, I'm sure there's connections, but we don't believe Torah means the sun. Judaism being astrology. Astrology does hold some interesting teachings in Kabbalah, but for the most part, again, we don't believe. It says that Abraham picked up, it says that Abraham said, I cannot have a child. Because Abraham was a top astrologer. He saw that there was no chance for him to have children. It says God lifted him above the stars, meaning you are beyond what the stars say. So we don't believe that astrology is the end-all be-all. We can transcend because God's infinite. I'm getting towards the end of your points. Moshe as Thutmose the Third. So I'd love to quickly. I know I've been talking a while, but I want to give you the Jewish viewpoint of Egypt. Now, you're right. There is no concrete 100% proof I can show you that the Jewish people were 600,000, came out of slavery and went to Israel. However, and it's a long time ago, but there are a lot of hints. And we know for a fact, 100% fact, that Egyptians at that time did have Canaanite slaves. That was the image that I showed you, and there's many other images and many other proofs, okay? So here are some of the hints. Yaqub, like you talked about, right? Before the Egyptian pharaohs that we know, there were Canaanite pharaohs there was the lower kingdom and the upper kingdom of Egypt. And Yaqub, which is similar to the sound of Yaakov, was one of those leaders. There was 27 scarabs, which were these things that we found that they would write. They would write into them to keep the information from that time. Scarab, S-C-A-R-A-B, and they found proof of that. Then there's the Hyksos.
You have to even go into spelling shit just to try to deflect. This boy putting out all the stuff in order not to answer something straight. You just gotta spell words now to elongate your explanation. I
actually don't think that the Hyksos were necessarily the Jews. However, there's writings from the Egyptian scribe Manetho. Maybe you've heard of him. He talks about a founder of monotheism named Osiris, which later took on the name Moses, and that he led his followers out of Egypt in Akhenaten's reign. Akhenaten was the heretic pharaoh who he abolished polytheism, but he said we should only worship the sun, actually, which is Aten, which is your Instagram.
The sun seemed to be
Josephus believed that we were from the Hyksos, but what I found interesting was this. Amos expelled the Hyksos, which may have been the Hebrews, but he expelled the Hyksos, and he united ancient Egypt and started the process of expanding his empire to Canaan and Syria. And Egyptian scribes of Amos and Thutmose III, who you think is Moses, Egyptian scribes boastfully write about the campaigns in the Levant that resulted in prisoners being captured and enslaved in Egypt. And various descriptions seem to match the Passover story very well. But at the end of the day, that area where the Jews likely were, which was the east for stone, it often chance of having physical evidence from that time is clearly very difficult. And number two is the Egyptians of that time were not that much very into keeping historical records when you were a leader trying to not be embarrassed by what happened before you. So like Thutmose III, when he got into power, you mentioned him, he tried to obliterate the memory of his predecessor, which was Hatshepsut. They still have her skeleton. So he would erase her inscriptions. He would take her obelisks away. He would try to take away any of her monuments. Her name doesn't appear in later annals or anything. And a Semitic group running into the desert, like you mentioned, they're not going to build cities and build monuments, and they're going to leave footprints in the sand. So one interesting thing that I found, first of all, is the writings from, I don't know how to pronounce it, Meremta Stele, S-T-E-L-E, Meremta. That is the first mention of an entity called Israel and Canaan, and it's dated to 1210 BCE, 3,240 years ago, okay? And the final thing, it might be worth showing this because I think it's super cool. I'm just going to pull it up right now, and we're going to look at it. Is the Ipuwer Papyrus. Have you heard of this? Ipuwer Papyrus. This is a papyrus, was a scroll back then that they found that talks about the story of all the 10 plagues by an Egyptian in that time.
Papyrus is paper for those of you watching who don't know.
Okay, so I'm going to just quickly see, because I think you guys will enjoy this. Let me see if I can pull this up.
I'll expound on that a little bit. It's a type of grass, a reed that they wet and they smash it real fine with under a stone. And when it dries, it comes out like paper mache, basically. It's a gooey type of milky type of thing. When you, like, again, they wet it, they put it on a rock and smash it, and it's paper, basically. Same thing how trees made out of paper today. You know, they put it through the mill and grind it up, and then they process it and, you know, mix it with water, and voila, paper. Roll it.
Here we go. 10 plagues. Boom. Let's do it. So this is what it says. Now, remember, this is from thousands of years ago at that time. It says like this. Plague is throughout the land. Blood is everywhere. The river is blood. Men shrink from tasting. Human beings thirst after water. That is our water. That is our happiness. What shall we do? Okay, etc. Remember, the first plague was water to blood. Then it says, Lower Egypt weeps, entire place. Okay, etc. Grain has perished, because remember there was the plague with the locusts. Then it says all animals, because the next plague was the animals that were killed. Then it says the land is without light, the plague of darkness.
See what I'm saying? What the animals did? Animals ain't do nobody nothing. Why? The animals still getting caught up in the humans' affairs. Yeah. I don't know what that is, where they gotta just fuck up the animals too. You too, Billy Goat. You know, goddamn. What the fuck really going on? Everybody gets it? You gotta throw everything under the bus? Son of a bitch. Roll it.
So there's definitely interesting. There's a papyrus from that time that seems to be talking about the 10 plagues. And the last thing you were talking about was okay, so like pedophilia. So there has never been a practice in Jews in pedophilia. In the Torah, I think what you're referring to is when Rebecca comes to, she's chosen to marry Isaac.
Didn't they talk about, in the Bible, he saw that man junk, and oh well, he ready to skirt up, and then you hear the part about Jesus went to the town, and all the men was lusting after, licking their little lips and shit, and they didn't want the women. They like, fuck your daughters, we want to fuck that dude right there. We want the pussy, you know. And then now you got the shit with the rabbis sucking little boys, penis and a circumcision and all kind of old shit. And look at the church. The church is full of pedophilia. Don't fucking lie, bitch. How you fooling? And most people that you actually even know that you can touch been raped by priests and popes and all kind of shit. Cut the bullshit. Look at Jeffrey Epstein. All y'all Jews, motherfucker, all them that caught up in that sex trafficking shit. Same game. You lied too goddamn much. Roll it.
And it says that she was young.
Cause we're putting all that goddamn gay, pottery and shit. All that Greek funny shit. Y'all been doing it.
I think, does it say 3? Rebecca was young. Now, there are commentaries that say that Isaac was not with her at that time. He waited till she grew up. Other comments say she was older than 3. She was already grown. But whatever the case is,
what man, especially back in them days, gonna wait till that girl grew up to be with her? Motherfucker, stop your goddamn line. You speak that shit today. I wish you had a time machine to go back and validate all. Just be a fly on the wall and watch the fucking history of lies.
With a lot of these things that we read, and you've talked about how Jews practice sacrifice, which is something that our entire religion is against. Not only was against, we were the ones who uprooted.
Even the fact that you got to even say that, well, he waited. Well, wait, if you gotta say he waited, then that mean that implies you already doing some froggy shit. Yeah, he had a young woman, and then you gonna write in parentheses, he waited till she was old enough to screw her. To write that out alone is implying you don't know no goddamn but you was doing what the fuck you want to do. You pencil that bitch in. You pencil whip that motherfucker in. Lying in. Because people still dating their 13 and 12 years old girls making them pregnant back. Because that was y'all way of life, bitch. So stop your goddamn lying. You lying ass, raggedy, goofy ass. Roll it.
It from mankind. I believe you're taking one account, like God tells Abraham as a test, bring Isaac as a sacrifice, and then God says don't do it in the end. And you're taking that to apply that the Jewish people brought sacrifice. The whole reason it was a test to Abraham was Abraham's whole life was devoted to stopping sacrifice. So
you test somebody
these ideas of taking one thing and then saying it applies to like our entire people, I judge people by action. So the awful thing that you're 100% right. I think.
As white folks always throw that monkey in a wrench. They shit that applies that they want the world to treat them this way. But they don't treat nobody else that way that they talking about. Well, I treat a man by his merit, and so if that's what the fuck you saying, why is that shit in there say Goyim and treat all niggas like slaves if that's what y'all so say faith said in the first place? Look how he double talking all on himself. Well, me and my religion, I thought God talked to all y'all. I thought all y'all should be unified in what the fuck y'all let laws so say. Y'all should all be on the same accord. So how you not gonna understand your book saying slave niggas? Then you gonna turn around and say, well, we believe that you should treat somebody by their merit. Bitch, you're contradicting yourself. You're the lie. Dirty ass liar. Roll it.
When you talk about Ham, and Ham is cursed, and people use that from the Bible as a reason to have slaves, is horrific. It is something that is wrong, and it is something that I don't believe the Jews were the source of. I don't want to blame Christians, but the slave owners that use that in America, I looked up the statistics of slaves. I actually wrote.
Okay, hold on now. The slave owners that use that in America. Now, that Bible shit wasn't in this country. Y'all bought that shit here. So what the fuck you mean that ham shit, they did it in America? Who? Who did that? Black people? You a monkey lie. You're bullshitting. See? Look how you lying up. Like that Master Bobby said, you talk long enough, that motherfucker gonna tell the truth on himself. Roll it
down because I didn't know this stuff before. Just wanna, and I'll leave it with this, and you take over. I'm sure you're gonna. When it comes to slave ownership in America, okay. So John J. Faber is a historian. And he says that the Jewish role in slavery was exceedingly limited. I've read people's comments that the Jews were like part of, in the South of America in 1830, there were 120 Jews out of 45,000 slave owners that owned 20 or more slaves.
Now,
okay?
Who was these slave owners? Because the church sent these bitches here under the doctrine of discovery. So how the fuck is the Jews coming here if they ain't coming here under that papal bull, under the Catholic Catholicism umbrella? How the fuck they coming over here if the Vatican and the Pope them is funding the damn trip and giving them the okay through the doctrine of discovery? How them Jews ain't under the same rule? When the Jews came here, what you mean? When 1492, when the Vatican and them people came? I thought y'all were Jewish, but y'all came over here on your own Jew strength? Or you came under here under that Catholic umbrella to do your little holy crusade, because that's what happened here. Y'all holy crusade over this bitch, not over there. Y'all Jesusify this shit here. Jesus ain't over there. Y'all just brought Jesus over there. You motherfucking lie. Roll it.
So those, and there's an African American professor at Harvard, Henry Louis Gates, and others who refute this concept that Jews played like this major role in. I know. Again, Nation of Islam talks about how Jews were a big part of it. Every culture took part of it, and it's awful. And the fact that people use something against Ham, I think, is horrific. And I'm sure you said other things about. You said Moses, 40 days, 40 nights, penguins, all that. I'll leave it at this. The final thing I'll say regarding Moshe and horns, because that's something, if you go to like Middle Age, people say Jews have horns. The word for horn in Hebrew is Karen. The word for light or horns of light, like shines, pillars of light, is also carne or. It's the same word. So they mistranslated horns of.
Hold on. Carne, C-A-R-N-E, is flesh. That's in the Spanish. That's in Latin. So, we talking about flesh? I thought you said you don't fuck with flesh or meat or whatever the fuck you talking about. What are you talking about, man? What the fuck you talking about? We talking about, Willis. Roll it.
Light, because Moses saw God face to face, so to speak. He saw God's glory that caused the light to shine from him. They said that means carne. They
showed good face to face. Stop saying that bullshit if that ain't what the fuck you mean. If y'all know that's not what that mean, why the fuck you still keep saying it? Stop trying to confuse people. Why are you trying to confuse people? See, I get it, but this is just for the layman. Y'all better recognize all these motherfuckers do is double talk. I already understand what the fuck going on. I just hope y'all can catch up and keep up. Roll it.
Translated as horns, but not that Jews actually have horns. I've been talking a while. Go for it.
Not a problem.
Hold on. He just handed his mic back to Pharaoh and still haven't answered a motherfucking question on where the fuck you from, boy. What's your origin story, boy? He didn't dance and said everything in the kitchen sink, but not one time addressed that boy a question. That dude even stopped and said, no, that's not it. I just want you to tell us your origin without talking about religion. And this motherfucker been talking about religion the whole goddamn time. That's why they fucked YP up, because he was the only one that actually truly sat down and had a debate with these Jews. These so-called Jews. Even the Bible say so-called Jews. Y'all the only one fucking calling yourself Jews. So who the fuck they talking about? That boy stopped again and told him to tell him where they from. That was the last thing he reiterated. And that boy still ain't answered the goddamn question. And I'm gonna keep saying to my damn self, those who watching this video, if you watching the original video, yeah, he gonna talk and make you forget. But if you watching this reaction video, bitch, you ain't gonna forget, because I'm gonna keep telling you why that white boy ain't told us his origins without talking about the goddamn Bible or no spirituality. Roll it.
Beautiful build. Here's my return. And since we're talking about horns, you know, I'll just start there because I don't feel like writing it down. And I just want to show once again that the Bible is based off astrology, and that Jews and other, you know, religious figures do indeed believe Moses has horns. The Latin Vulgate describes Moses as having horns. Here's 2 actual statues of Moses with horns. So I just want to get that on the record that people do believe within the Jewish faith that Moses had horns, but not literally. It's astrologically. And the reason that I'm bringing that up is because you say you don't know a lot about Freemasonry, which may or may not be true. So what I'm going to do here is I want to show you something, because I would ask you to educate yourself, because Freemasonry is something you should learn about. As you look at this image here that I'm showing in an actual Freemasonic lodge, you see 3 books on the table. And one of the books right here is the Tanakh. And the Tanakh, okay, is the sector of Freemasonry that is reserved for the elites, because the god of Freemasonry is Lucifer. And if you read Morals and Dogma by Albert Pike, who was a 33rd degree Freemasonry, he confirms that the term Yeshua is interchangeable with Lucifer. So yeah, you should look into that. I'm not saying,
by the way, Tanakh stands for Torah, Nevi'im, Ketuvim. The Torah, the writings, and the prophets. Those are the 24 books. Okay, go ahead.
And Yeshua means Lucifer. Yeshua is interchangeable with Lucifer. So Jews, and I'm going to go into that in a second, but I'm going to just go down the line. Okay, so another thing I wanted to hit at was Goyim, right? Because I wrote down what you said, and I'm coming behind you now. Goyim does indeed mean slave. And I'm going to give you a quote from an actual Jew or rabbi using the term Goyim in its meaning. He says what? Okay, now this is Avadia Yosef, if I'm saying it right. According to Avadia Yosef, Goyim were born only to serve us. Without that, they have no place in the world, only to serve the people of Israel. Why are Gentiles needed? They will work, they will plow, they will reap. We will sit like the Effendi and eat. That is why Gentiles were created. So I just want to not only confirm that the word Goyim does mean slave, I wanted to show a Jew actually using it in the context of what it means. Now, continuing on, right? Since we're talking about Freemasonry, right? That's a good, that's a good subject matter to bring up when we talk about Judaism, because Freemasonry incorporates Judaism, Islam, and Christianity, because they're literally all the same stories remixed in fictitious languages to talk about astrology and Luciferianism. Now, why is this important? According to monotheism, synagogue is the home of Satan. Okay, the 6-point star, the Hebrew star, the star of Moloch, Ramphram, that is the star of Satan. It's all throughout monotheistic teaching. Now, why is that important? The only people who worship their God in the synagogue is the Jewish community. Now, when I say that the Jews worship this entity, it's not for slanderous purposes. Here's an actual image of Jews in a synagogue worshiping Baphomet. This is not Photoshop. So you should learn about Freemasonry.
That is Photoshop.
And the reason, okay, you go but in a sec. The reason I'm bringing this up is because you may not engage in certain practices, but your people do. So when we talking about sacrifice and pedophilia, okay, because we brought that up. So let me just go to some verses, okay? Let's go to some verses, some pedophile verses. But first, what I want to do is I want to show actual newspapers of children that they were finding sacrificed in cellars of synagogues, okay? Because I don't say nothing about nobody I can't back up. Now, this is a little boy.
I gotta say, this is why I had liked YP at the time. You gotta pull up the scholarship while you talking to these motherfuckers. You do. It's not like talking to black people, because motherfuckers believe anything. You got to pull it up, because they're gonna lie in your face. Pull it up while you talking about the topic. This is brilliant. I love this. And I rarely see our people use their logical mind in this fashion. I rarely do. Roll it.
That they found murdered and sacrificed, okay, by the Jewish community, okay? Here's another newspaper, a long lost skeleton in a synagogue cellar. And if I was to read this, it would tell you that it's a sacrificed child, okay? And if you research blood label, okay, blood label is Jews of antiquity and a lot still today, sacrificing children for rituals, as we see Donald Trump today draining the swamp. And if anybody thinks this fake, Go look up Little Saint Hugh. This is his actual coffin. This is not Photoshop. Little Saint Hugh was a Christian boy who was sacrificed by Jews in 1255. Go look it up. So you should get into Freemasonry and its connection to Judaism. But as I go down my list, right, and I continue to come behind some of your talking points, right? You said, you know, basically climate and environment determines the color of skin. And this is where I have to go all the way in, because genetics is one of my primary areas. Now, when we talking about genetics, right, and what you did during your term, or what you did not do during your term, and I'll offer you another chance to do it again on your next chance. You did not prove genetic or historic lineage outside of the Bible, or outside of the Torah or religious talking points. So I'm gonna need you before this. And if you're not able to do it, you can say that. That's fine. But what I would like you to do before this conversation or discussion is over is to prove genetically and historically.
I gotta applaud this boy for staying in that realm, for staying focused. Because the whole purpose of these cracker motherfuckers is to get you off your focus and make you forget what the fuck you talking about. To cut off your train of thought. Food for thought. Words of wisdom. Roll it.
Where you come from without using religion and without using the evolution theory, okay? And the reason I'm bringing that up is because if you study genetics, you'll know that black people, we have the same exact chemical composition as a plant. The only difference between plants is we have magnesium. I mean, we have iron in our blood, and plants have magnesium. If you were to switch magnesium with iron, we would turn green and plants would turn black. Now, why is this important? A rose in the summer and a rose in the winter is still red. You have Eskimos right now in colder climates that are still black. We don't go to colder climates and turn white. Okay. Now, the reason I'm bringing that up is this has also been confirmed by a biology professor named John Biggerstaff. He's a biology professor, and he said, quote, "There is no evolutionary or natural reason for pale skin," which means nobody evolves for beneficial reasons and creates pale skin. There is no scientific advantage of having pale skin. And this is a white biology professor. Now, the reason I'm bringing that up is because the evolution theory and going into the cold and turning pale, that is a lie that Caucazoid people tell us in order to integrate themselves into our history, because they have no history and they have not explained where they come from. And so my thing is this: even if we did turn color during colder climate environments, why are we not all right now chameleons? Why is everybody in America not black during the summer, light skinned during the fall, white during the winter?
And I love it. But he missing that one factor. Why you didn't just grow big lips, bitch? Why your hair didn't get nappy? Why your nose didn't get big? Why didn't you pick up our phenotype? Roll it.
Then back light skin during the spring. So you don't see a chameleon effect with humanity because it has not happened and it will never happen. Point number 2, which I don't want to fly over people's head. If you are not black, you are not a full human being according to science. You have Neanderthal DNA. So here's the thing. If I go right now and live in Alaska, even if I did turn light skin, I would not lose 7% of my DNA. So what the evolution theory and what you presented is failing to establish is this. Even if we did go to a colder climate and turn a lighter shade of pigmentation, why is your DNA inclined and encompassed of animal species that you cannot sexually reproduce with? So that has not been explained by any Caucazoid on the planet.
And I'm gonna reiterate this. I'm shining the light on this bitch. You heard that dude say it. For all y'all with that same old lie that y'all keep regurgitating and passing on, well, we change colors in the climate, that climatized shit. That's your answer right there. How, just because you change climate, you a monkey? I love that point. All y'all with them same old bullshit questions and answers. That a real answer go right there. Nah, debunk that shit. Cause if you talk to a modern day white boy, a lot of this shit, they kinda heard that niggas is smacking them in the ass with that dumb shit. They ain't got that shit no more. That's why you don't ask them. You don't hear a lot of white folks debating niggas no more. Cause they didn't realize that, oh shit. Cause you know, if they were so right, they'd be on the corner just like them Hebrew Israelites. They'd be on the corner just telling motherfuckers who they are. They didn't shut the fuck up now. They quiet now. When they thought they were so fucking smart and they gave them that fool shit to run with, that damn goofy ass goddamn history, that lying shit, and send their little minions out to go spread that shit and tell everybody and fool people. You don't hear that shit no more. You don't hear it no more. They realize that damn, the shit that we didn't respond with, they can't beat that bitch. You can't. Roll it.
Now keeping it moving, okay? Keeping it moving. Where I'm at now. Okay, boom. I'm here. Etymological roots, right? I want to bring this up because I don't want you to think I'm making up words because they sound alike. I want you to actually see, you know, the terminologies and the definitions of what I'm talking about. So I know you were saying the word Nazi and Nazi socialism doesn't make sense, which, you know, if you don't do etymology, it wouldn't make sense. But I have an etymology book over here in my house, but I chose to pull this up on the internet. And if you look right now at what I'm showing you on the screen, you can see the etymological roots for the word Nazi right here clearly says national zealous, which is national socialist. Okay. Also, the word Ashka means beloved. So we deal with the English language, and specifically there are prefixes and suffixes. And when we know how prefixes and suffixes work, and we know the actual linguistic origins of the Germanic and Yiddish language, yep, we know that the word Ashkenazi is a Yiddish and Germanic combination of the word Ashka and Nazi. Yep. Okay? So it does mean beloved national socialist. That's a fact. Now, continuing on, going down my list, we want to talk about...
You see how this white boy didn't even know none of this shit. But it was white Nazi, so quick to debunk and to say black people don't know what we talking about and we lying and all kind of, we too stupid to outsmart or to say something smarter or grander than what the fuck coming out of his mouth. See? If you don't know, shut the fuck up and listen. Rather than tell somebody, oh, that ain't true, because you just think words sound like each other, sending them behind them, answer them, that they're relatable. Yes, it is, but what the fuck you think language is? If nothing is relatable to nothing. But that's good for him, though. Now you sit up there looking like a dummy. Roll it.
Pedophilia, okay? I got books over here. I can go grab any one of them books. I will tell you right now, you can go get a book right now called Sexual Abuse in the Jewish Community. And the book details statistically how sexual abuse in the Jewish community is actually worse than the abuse in the Catholic community.
Okay. But they all heard the word from God, though. See what I'm saying? Why would the people so say that God didn't talk to all their people? Why would you not have enough proof to do what's right? See what I'm saying? Unless your God is the wrong one. And what you're doing is exactly what the fuck he wants you to do. So yeah, you following your God. Yeah, you following that motherfucker, all right. Roll it.
And that Jews do not get penalized because when they get caught, they're allowed to use what is called the law of return, which I'm sure you're familiar with. And they're able to run back to Israel and avoid prosecution. So not only is there a factual pedophilic issue in the Jewish community, You guys are avoiding prosecution by running back to Israel when you get caught. And I just want to say this. I'll get to it. I won't get there yet. I'll get to it. Let me go down the thing. Once again, being the original inhabitants of Israel, right? Even if we don't agree on anything we're talking about, we can agree that black people were here first, which means if anybody is native to Israel, it will be us. And we're not even claiming it. So we don't know how you claiming it. And we was here before you. But the thing is this, if you are from Israel, why can you not naturally live over there? That's like me saying I'm from Atlantis. I can't breathe under the damn water. So I can't ever factually say I'm from Atlantis. You cannot live under this sun. If you go to skin cancer, and let me pull it up because I don't want nobody to think I'm lying, because I say stuff and then people say, oh, Pharaoh, you speaking out of, I'm not speaking out of hate. I'm speaking out of facts. So let me pull up the stats right here. Boom, let me share my screen. Every hour, 2 non-black people die from the sun. Okay, that's a fact. And that was posted by skincancer.org. And so the reason I'm bringing this up, okay, y'all can't live under the sun. This is why y'all created y'all God in a book. And then you look at black people.
This is why they created sunscreen. And in my last video, melatonin nigger droplets, melatonin pill, UV ray protector. This is why this exists, because y'all can't. That's the whole fucking point.
And you believe that we worship the sun. Like you say, Akhenaten worship. Akhenaten didn't worship the sun. He taught the sun.
Again, always try to fuck a nigga every week, because we didn't worship the sun. Maybe you should, bitch. But we didn't even do that. They love to try to downplay us like we so fucking rudimentary and so ass backwards. And try to, y'all worship the sun. And if we did, so the fuck what? Maybe that's why the bitch like us and don't like you. Huh. Roll it.
In accordance with holistic health. The sun heals us. It does not heal y'all. Now we can together get into a science lab and figure out why and help the situation. I'm not trying to down talk Caucasians, but the sun to us is a healing factor. We didn't worship it. We used it for medicinal purposes. And we understood the science of vitamin D. We understood the science of our bones becoming stronger. We understood the science of concentrating sunlight and making it into a laser in order to heal up. In order to speed up healing. And so our ancestors mastered medicinal practices before we were ever met with Western medicine and psychology. And y'all misunderstood that and thought it was sun worship. It wasn't sun worship. It was sun understanding. Now, keeping it pushing. Okay, I'm going to just end that here as I continue on. If you are from Israel, why can you not live there? Now, let's keep it moving, right? I did Goyim already, so I'm going to keep it pushing. I did Freemasonry already, so I'm going to keep it pushing. And once again, you should get into Freemasonry, okay? Because Jeffrey Epstein's pedophile island does have Hebrew symbols on there. So if the Jews or the Hebrews...
Oh, yeah, I forgot about this in this day and age. Yeah, Jeffrey Epstein, old Jewish ass motherfucker. Roll it.
Are not involved in pedophilia or Freemasonry. Why is an Israeli spy? Because Jeffrey Epstein was a Jew. Let's be clear on that. He was a Jew. Lex Wessner was a Jew. Ghislaine Maxwell was a Jew. Her spy father, Robert Maxwell, was a Jew. And they were all interconnected to the Israeli Mossad. Harvey Weinstein, who was also a Jew, hired his bodyguards from a Jewish private security agency called the Black Cube. So these are all Jews. And all of these Jews were not only sacrificing black kids, but white kids on that pedophile island. And he does not only have Greek decorum on that island, he has Hebrew symbols on the floor of that palace. So not only is Freemasonry and Judaism connected to pedophilia and child sacrifice historically, presently, as I'm talking to you, the biggest pedophile to exist in our time was a Jew. So I want that on the record. Now continuing on, right?
On record. That's on a motherfucking record. Now, say something. I dare you. I dare y'all dusty ass motherfucker to say something. Say something, bitch. Now my puppy wanna say something. Tell him, Kodak. Shoot their ass out. Roll it.
We want to talk about the origins of anti-Semitism. Now, I'm gonna play a video of a Jew saying that they use anti-Semitism in order to defend themselves in a deceitful way. Because once again, I have to play it because when I'm speaking on this particular community who is on this platform, which is owned by Jews, they take videos down because of anti-Semitism. So I like to play proof behind what I'm saying. So hopefully this establishment.
And this is why I got this video showing. So don't be trying to call out bullshit when you know it ain't bullshit. We gonna put the scholarship, like Master Bob said, put it on tape. Show them the scholarship. You can't debunk that shit. Roll it.
Social media, Jews don't flag my channel for saying some real shit. Now let me play the video right here. Here we go right here. Now this video right here, anybody can go look this up. It's called the Zionist trick, anti-Semitic. It's a trick. We always use it. Former Israeli minister Salamit Alain. Now let me play the video.
Often when there is...
Oh, wait a minute. Let me mute this for mine. Hold on.
...expressed in the United States against policies of the Israeli government.
Boom. Okay, hold on. Let me get myself out of here. It's because I'm in here on my computer and my laptop. All right, here we go. I'm playing it from my computer. Exit. Where is my keyboard? Here's my keyboard. All right.
Maybe.
Wow.
All right, here we go. I bet he don't. He's a deceitful God.
This bitch say,
he's a deceitful.
Maybe God don't want you to play. Well, your God, bitch. You lying motherfucker. You're deceitful. And he said exactly what he said. Why wouldn't God want the truth come out, you motherfucker?
Deceitful God, but I got to expose God. God,
he doesn't mean it. Doesn't mean it.
He must get exposed. Now, with that being said, here's the video right here. I'm gonna screen share it from my actual desktop, so that way we don't got to deal with that. Now, once again, this is a Jew admitting that they use anti-Semitism as a trick. Okay, now here we go. Let's bang the video out. Bang.
Often when there is dissent expressed in the United States against policies of the Israeli government, people here are called anti-Semitic. What is your response to that as an Israeli Jew?
Well, it's a trick. We always use it. When from Europe somebody is criticizing Israel, then we bring up the Holocaust. When in this country people are criticizing Israel, then there are anti-Semitic. And the organization is strong and has a lot of money. And the ties between Israel and the American Jewish establishment are very strong.
Pause. You heard that?
Sure.
Yeah, the ties between the Israeli and American establishment is very strong. But outside of that, she said whenever somebody criticizes the Jews, they bring out anti-Semitism and the Holocaust as a trick. So let me let this play. It's like 30 more seconds.
And they're strong in this country. As you know, they have power, which it's okay. They're talented people and they have power, money, and media and other things. And their attitude is Israel, my country, right or wrong. They identify fiction. And they are not ready to hear criticism. And it's very easy to blame people who criticize certain acts of the Israeli government.
Okay, pause. So that's what I needed to hear. That they're not ready to hear criticism, and that they bring up the Holocaust, and that they bring up anti-Semitism as a trick to dance around criticism. And since we're talking about the Holocaust, I have to just say this honestly. I'm not gonna say I don't care, but the Holocaust is being implemented. Black people have been murdered and genocided 50,000 times worse than what happened to y'all. And we are still I'm not done. Okay, let me give you the numbers. Arabs killed 40 million Africans. And that was just during the Arab slave trade. Then the Arabs educated Caucazoids on how to do it. Caucasians have killed over 100 million Indians alone, let alone Africans. So Arabs killed 40 million Africans. Arabs educated Caucasians how to do it. Caucasians, aka Spaniards, which are white people who speak Spanish because Spanish was created in Italy, came and then they killed 20 million Africans. And then the Dutch came and they killed 40 million. And then the British came and they killed 30 million. Then the British came back in the 1900s underneath Leopold and killed 14 million Africans in the early 1900s. Then Mussolini with Hitler came behind him and killed 40 million. And then when the Pilgrims came over here, the Dutch, the French, and the Spaniards was already over here murdering people. But then the European Pilgrims came and they killed 100 million just off zoonotic diseases and bad hygiene.
So right now, when I'm old crack ass motherfucker coming talking to you about that little wine and cheese bullshit, this is shit that needs to be said. This is shit that needs to be counteracted. Now, again, he sit up there with a dick look in his face. Because he know, and he was shaking his head when he said, oh, the Holocaust, he shake his head like, no, like that's going to make it right. Like that's going to make him right by shaking your head. Everybody know that little trick. When somebody's saying something, you shake your head like the world, look, he don't believe him, so I give a damn about that. You can shake your head up and down, left and right, inside out. Yeah, round you turn me. Nobody give a damn how you shaking your fucking head. You can shake it to the east, shake it to the west, shake it to the woman that you love the best. It don't fucking matter. You still wrong. Roll it.
So if we were to add up the body count of black people in comparison with the Holocaust, I don't honestly want to hear that shit. You got more black people in jail today around the world than that can compete with amount of Jews that died during the Holocaust. So my main thing is, if and I'm not saying that the Holocaust was good, but what I'm saying is, y'all trying to do with y'all trying to use the Holocaust the same way that the LGBTQ is trying to use gay rights. Y'all are trying to put y'all plights out of order. Yes, you have a plight, but you got to respect rank and file. The Holocaust is not the #1 historical horrible event. It's like #2 or 3. What happened to us is horrible, and I'll tell you why.
And
even though your history is completely made the fuck up, you still got it. I got real history. I got real pyramids. I got real pharaohs. I got real ancestors that I don't even know about because it's still being hidden from me today. Why? Because the creators of the school curriculum in this country are Jews, and they lying to me about who I am. And that's a fact that the McGraw school curriculum, Robert Maxwell has ownership in that, and he's an Israeli spy.
Now he's not interested in talking about since that little young nigga burn that ass up. Burn that bitch up. You need to be burnt the fuck up. I hope you turn red. I mean your ruddiness. Roll it.
And so my thing is, you guys are able to obtain your history, whether we agree with it or not. Ours is still being hidden from us to this very day. So the Holocaust is relevant, but it must take a back seat until black men, not gay, not trans, until black heterosexual men get justice. I don't want to hear shit about the Holocaust. Now, when we get justice, then we can give you justice. But here's the thing. How did y'all skip the line? Not only did you get justice, you get a minimum of $3 billion from this country every year. We giving y'all $10.5 million a day to help y'all set up a land that y'all not even from. And we are from this land. We are from America. We are from Africa. We are from it. We was here first all around the world, and we don't get shit. And so I don't really want to hear nothing about the Holocaust. But keeping it moving, okay?
I want to hear that bullshit.
Israel, right? Talking about slavery. We can debate if Jews partook in the European slave trade, because that's just one slave trade. There were multiple slave trades. Let's just talk about today. Israel conspired with Hillary Clinton, aka America, to kill Gaddafi so that the slave trade in Libya could commence. That's a fact. But why is nobody talking about all of the African refugees that are trying to flee to Israel? And Israel right now, as we speak, is literally rounding them up and forcing them back into slavery, knowing that they'll be sold and traded by the Arabs. So I don't want to hear shit about the Jews don't partake in slavery. Because if you run to my house right now and you say somebody's trying to rape me, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to let you in my house and I'm going to call 911. If I tell you I don't give a fuck, go back over there. I'm just as guilty as you. I'm just as guilty as your attacker. So why is nobody talking about not only how Israel's military intelligence entities, I know all about Unit 8200, I know all about it. Why is nobody not talking about how Israel not only conspired with this country to initiate slavery in Libya, but how they are also forcing African refugees to be traded and enslaved by denying them sanctuary, but yet they want aid from this same motherfucking country to avoid that fate. And so the Jews, aka Israel, is just as guilty as anybody on the field, period. Now continuing to go down the list. Whatchamacallit? You made a comment saying that Farrakhan, Nick Cannon, and others make comments that would make people angry towards Jews. And I just want to say this on the record. I don't give a fuck about Farrakhan. So if you don't, I don't. I agree with you there. Farrakhan is a fraud, and you know, just like I know, y'all got that man in y'all back pocket. Let's be clear on that. Just like y'all got Nick Cannon in y'all back pocket. So let's be clear on that. Now, me personally, I'm not in nobody's back pocket. But the reason that that's important is because how can we say that Farrakhan or Nick Cannon, who's a pussy, by the way, how can we say that they say things that make people angry at the Jewish community when the Jews own and run, along with China, the entertainment industry, and y'all purposely only allow images of black people on the TV that make people angry at us? Y'all don't put niggas like me on the TV. I can't get no job in Hollywood. I do more numbers and I got a more engaging following than 2 out of 10 mainstream artists. Ain't nobody approach me with no deal. Y'all snatching videos down. I got a lawsuit right now with YouTube because the Jews, YouTube, don't want me saying the shit I'm saying. So my thing is this. Why do we have to, if we gonna have common courtesy, why it can't go both ways? Why do I gotta watch my mouth about what might upset the Jewish community when yet y'all are making billions of dollars showing my people in a degradational image that does nothing but make not only us, but everybody else upset at us? So the Jewish community got to play fair. Now, going to my next page of coming behind you, right? Sound. Okay, we want to talk about God talking to Moses, right? And I'm going to ask you, you can say yes or no. Do you understand the process of sound and how you actually hear? It's a yes. You can say yes or no. If you don't know, it's okay. I just want to ask because I'll explain.
I think so, but please explain.
Okay. Sound is conducted through your bones. So with that being said, the thinner your bones, the higher frequency you conduct. This is why black people, we like bass. We like loud music because we absorb more frequency than other races of people because we have thinner bones. This is why, and I'm not attacking nobody, but we've all heard people use the term, get it through your thick skull, you Neanderthal. The reason people used to say that is because Neanderthals have thicker skulls, so they process less sound frequency. This is why white people don't like loud ass music with bass, because it's not good for their skeletal system. I understand. Yeah, I understand that. So the reason I'm bringing that up is because a snake cannot talk because it doesn't have a voice box. And not only does it not have a voice box, a spirit does not have a voice box. We talk to spirits using using EMP technology to process sound waves and interpret it into freak phenomena. So why is this important? If God doesn't have a body, he cannot produce a voice. And if he cannot produce a voice, There is no electrical interval that can enter into your ear, come in contact with your skull, resonate that frequency to your brain, and be interpreted as a message. So if God is not a physical being, he cannot produce a physical event. Now the sun produces sound, and this is why my ancestors spoke to the sun. Radio wave, by definition, is electromagnetic signals carrying sound messages. So the sun speaks to us just like it speaks to plant. No man in the sky speaks to you. So that is scientific reasoning why no God ever spoke to Moses. Now, crossing that off the list, going back down, I already touched on biology professor John Biggerstaff says there's no rational reason for pale skin, so I'll skip that. Spirituality, right? Here's my thing about monotheism, right? And why I will never accept it. Math is a universal language. And math is such a powerful language that you can add words in order, you can add, subtract, divide, multiply words in order to develop philosophy. So words don't actually math doesn't actually only help you count. It helps you understand. So why is this important? 1 + 1 is 2. If the Bible, if the Quran, if the Torah was actually real spiritual texts, and let's just say they real, let's just act like I fully subscribe to the belief of this system, that God cannot be a righteous God, because Caucazoids have never had a righteous civilization. Now, why is this important, right? We talk about the plagues in Egypt. When they genetically tested those Africans over there, not only did we not have disease, we had all of our teeth, and we had healthy blood. We were vegans. And so if the Bible or the Torah or the Quran is saying that there was a plague in Egypt, and then actual geneticists and anthropologists are pulling pharaohs out of the tomb and pulling bodies out of Egypt, and not only showing that we were void of disease, we were healthier than anybody living today, that shows it couldn't have been no plague and somebody's lying. Now, why else is that important? Once again, Caucasians have never had a spiritual civilization. You cannot name one Caucazoid civilization that was void of violence and that was totally peaceful. Every African civilization before Caucasians came in contact with us was peaceful. And if you look at black people today, even if you go to third world countries where their ribs is showing, they're happy and they're dancing. Any black person outside of the influence of Western psychology is happy. The only time you see black people miserable is when we are living underneath colonial power. Yep, the only time you see us acting savage is when we are under colonial powers. And another example of this I want to bring up is this. Look at black people in the ghetto. When we get money, we don't commit crime. We sit the fuck down. Look at Chief Keef. He sat down. Look at 50 Cent. Sat down. Look at Nipsey Hussle. Sat down. Look at me. Sat down. What do non-black people do when they get money? Chemtrails. Fuck up the earth. Knock down a rainforest. Pedophilia. Vaccines. So we have to ask ourselves, who is a spiritual person naturally and who is not? And if these books actually taught righteousness, why has no civilization ever been a righteous civilization underneath the practice of these books? Now let me...
I didn't even have to interject. I had to let that boy cook. I had to let that little dude cook. Because like I say, at that time, dude was the best. He was the best, man. He did his work, and I ain't going to take nothing from him. But they can't fuck with that boy. That's why they made him fall. And in this climate, when people like that make you fall, they take away all your works from you. So it's damn near like the boy didn't even exist. That's what they do. But I'm going to let him continue to cook. Because this white boy is speechless like a motherfucker. And he right. The only reason why we acting the way they do is because it's money. And they put us in poverty and they put us in this box. And they know it. They fucking know. I ain't even gotta say the shit. They know it. This is why they made money in their civilization the way that they did. They keep you chasing after the whole time. They keep you fighting among yourselves in hunger and survival mode. Roll it.
Keep it moving, because I got like 4 more and I'm straight.
All right.
You also said, let me cross that. I hit that. Worship the sun, right? And I touched on this, but I want to say this again. Religion is the spiritual system for non-black people because they cannot naturally exist under the sun. So when y'all come amongst us as missionaries, or y'all came amongst us as missionaries, we were holistic people. We were living off the earth, we was eating off the earth, and we were meditating under that sun. And that is something that y'all are genetically and biologically unable to do for whatever reasons. That's fine. But what's happening, y'all are demonizing our natural
trying to do what we was doing. Why you think every time a white person so say find God or want to be spiritual, the first thing you do is run and put dreads in his head? Put locks in his head. Like that's going to make him closer to God by trying to look black. That's the first thing they do. Roll it.
Practices and downplaying it as sun worship because it's something that y'all cannot do. So y'all want us to find our higher selves in that book when we supposed to be finding our higher selves in that sky. And that is why, you know, Egyptologists deem Akhenaten the weakest pharaoh, because they want us to believe that returning to the sun is a bad thing. Even though the Torah, which is the sun, the Helios Biblios, Holy Bible, sun book, the Quran, sun book, the Quran got a chapter in it called the Surah Baraj, which means constellations astrology. All of y'all books are literature, is literature. No, excuse me. All of y'all books in monotheism is nothing more than occultic literature, which worships the sun because y'all can't actually do it. And y'all want us to think that it's bad for us if we actually do it. So I want to be clear on that when we speaking on Akhenaten, because I understand exactly why I put the term Aten on the back of my name. Aten is the highest level of consciousness before you go into death or darkness, which is Amen. And so continuing on, right? Stolen stories from Egypt. Okay, I want to break this down because if anybody subscribes to any religion, I don't care what religion is, I have to show you that the stories was literally stole right off the wall. Now, here's my first example, right?
This dude named Quasi Aswad, he saw his dude Egyptian trip. He gonna show you that shit right on the wall. He another master teacher that he likes to show about Egypt and the stories and things that were before they was before. How all the medical equipment and tools and all damn kind of shit was already on the fucking wall. You know, it was already etched out. And how they stole a lot of the Trinity story and all kind of other shit. You know, that's all they do is steal shit. Again, Quasi Aswad, Kwasi, Quasi. Him and his wife. I don't know if they're still doing trysts, but he gonna break that shit down. Word. Roll it.
Let's talk about parting the Red Sea. Okay, because people, we want to know where that came from. And we already know at a certain time of year, every year, the soil is so rich in Egypt that it makes the water of the Nile turn red. So that's where the ideology of red water or blood or you know that allegory came from. But if you look right here in the tomb of Ramesses, you can see Akhenaten and Nefertiti having a battle out at sea. And you see that the water is parting. So go look this up. And so what y'all did is y'all walked inside our shit and you took the images off the wall and you turned the images into religious stories that never happened. And while doing that, you want us to subscribe to them stories, but you don't want us to know what the fuck is on these walls. So I want to be clear on that. Now, another example that I want to use, okay, as far as whatchamacallit, stolen history. The Bible says God made Adam from clay. God made Adam from the dirt. But our ancestors told us that we was made in the likeness of the universe, and that Khnum, the creator god, fashioned man on a clay wheel. So here's another story that y'all stole out of Egypt and put it in the Bible. And as you can see, this is Heru, and they tried to scratch him off, but he's still got a little bit of blackness on him. And the reason I'm bringing that up is because when you spoke about Akhenaten, you talked about how the Pharaoh who came behind him tried to basically sketch out his history. And what I want non-black people to do is to acknowledge their lies. What y'all did was y'all went, and I'm talking about Arab, I'm talking about everybody, Chinese, everybody. You went into Egypt and you destroyed our shit, and then you blamed it on us. When Napoleon alone, I'm gonna use Napoleon because he's recent. When Napoleon alone went into Egypt, he burned 500,000 scrolls. So it's shit that our ancestors wrote on paper before the Greeks even knew what paper was. Moses went to the top of the mountain to get stones. We was already writing on paper and using stones to build pyramids. So that was primitive to us. If that really happened, in our eyes, that's some caveman primitive shit, because we was already writing on paper. So I want to be clear on that. Y'all went into Egypt and destroyed our shit, and then you wrote history up in a way that would make us believe that we destroyed our own shit. So I want to be clear on that. White people, Caucazoids and Arabs, who are also phenotypically considered Caucazoids, are trying to literally erase us from history, and then you are rewriting the history as if we're doing. And if anybody want to research that, look up Egypt Mania. Egypt Mania is a 3,000-year-old psychological obsession of non-black people going into Egypt and not only doing what I stated, doing even weirder shit like burning the mummies and eating the mummies. So let's talk about that. How a lot of Egyptologists who are Jews are going into tombs and literally eating my motherfucking ancestors. Literally going into tombs and snatching the jewelry off the dead bodies of my motherfucking ancestors. So when we talk about who's destroying black history, it's y'all. And then you blaming us for this shit. And then not only are you blaming us for the shit you doing to us, you want us to subscribe to some shit that even in this live stream, you still have not proven. And I'm still waiting for you to prove where you came from outside of that book and outside of the evolution theory. Now, keeping it moving, right? I got 3 more talking points to come behind you, 2 more because I hit some pirates, so I'm done with that.
That's good.
Once again, prove where you come from using actual anthropology and science. And I'm gonna end right there. This is my last rebut because I know we were supposed to go out.
He made sure that's the final thought. To leave this motherfucker with this question. Because it looks like your boy is so confused, he can't keep track. You can't keep track to stay with the concept that the boy talking about. He keep going off track. Roll it.
Hour and a half we went over, so I'm gonna end right here. Out of everything that you may say to rebut me right now, I ask that at the end of that rebuttal, you prove where you came from without using the Bible and without using the evolution theory.
This what the fuck we've been waiting for this whole time. That video for that boy is like a 3-hour video, and that boy not one time in 3 hours answered that whole fucking question. But he's so smart though. Okay. What I
ask, do not use a theory and do not use a book that you wrote to benefit you. Because if a bomb go off right now and every book is destroyed and we have to re-educate ourselves scientifically, guess what we will discover? Black people was everywhere. Egyptians were black, Olmecs were black, Mayans were black, Incas were black, Naga Kushites in Japan were black. The museums will confirm all of this shit is black. What we will not see or be able to prove is that the original inhabitants of Israel was you. So if we take away the evolution theory, if we take away the Bible, prove where y'all come from, because y'all have not done that. And my research leads me to believe that you were genetically engineered by extraterrestrials to conquer this planet. That is what my research has led me to, and I have confirmation on that. But if people don't believe in extraterrestrials, that's fine. All I'm asking non-black people to do, and what I'm asking you to do right now, before we end this live stream, is prove where you come from without the use of religion and without the use of a theory that was created by a racist who was also connected to the Jews, Darwin. So with that being said, you got it, and I'm done.
All right. And if it's okay, after I respond to what you said, maybe we can just wrap it up, share a thought.
Yes, sir.
Perfect. I'm just I will get to what you just asked. I wrote down, a lot of the things you said. First of all, you being censored on YouTube, let's say, for example, that wouldn't be a Jewish conspiracy. That would be I'm tying in what you said with the beginning of what you said. You talked about the blood libel. You talked about a blood libel like it was something that was like a historical fact.
It is. The Jews have failed out of over 100 countries for sacrifice.
Yeah, okay, that's my point. So what you're doing is you're taking the hatred from the past and
taking hatred from the past. Bitch, if something in the past happened and you speak on it, it don't mean that you talking about something that actually happened. That was an actual account. You goofy bitch.
National killing of Jews throughout history, and you're saying the reason why Jews were persecuted was for a reason. There must have been a reason why.
Wow, Jeffrey Epstein is a Jew.
That's one person. So because he had blue, wait, I let you speak.
Okay, go ahead.
Because he had blue on his house and blue's the colors of Israel, that means the 6 million Jews in Israel are at fault for what Jeffrey Epstein did. That's the thing you're doing, and that's what was done throughout history. I'm going to find what was the blood libel, and I'm not going to do a whole thing. I just looked it up while we were talking because there's so many. I mean, this has already been, let me see if I can find it. Is this the blood? Is this the rural France? Do you see it?
No. Oh yeah, let me share it. I'm sorry, that's my bad. Okay.
Nope, that's the wrong one. That's the wrong one.
I'm about to say, what the hell side is that?
Here it is. I didn't make it a separate window. My bad. So the blood libel was something where they said Jews like the blood of Christian children. I already mentioned this before you brought it up. And because we like the blood of Christian children, we kill them and use their blood to eat matzahs on Passover. Besides the fact that every week we read a new Torah portion, today's Torah portion in Deuteronomy says, "Thou shalt not consume blood." You cannot. We're not even allowed to have it, even though it's an insane accusation. But let's assume it was something. You're not allowed to have it. So here's the blood libel. I mean, we're not going to spend too much time on this, but this is famous. You can see it now, right?
Yes, sir.
I mean, it was throughout history. Rural France, 3 boys disappear after being spotted on a frozen river. According to testimony from some, the boys were slaughtered by a group of Jews. Great. What are we going to do? We don't like Jews. 300 Jews were burned at the stake. Oops. The bodies of the 3 boys were recovered in the spring and they had been drowned, not ritually murdered. And this is everywhere. Suffolk, England, Zaragoza, Spain. Anytime.
The point is, where are these so-called wayward Jews? Where are they getting this knowledge and this information to do what they're doing? Who told them that shit? Where are they getting this information from? To just be bloodletted? Where did they get that from? They just naturally feel like that's something they just want to do internally? That's something that them people got written down and they hiding it out because the shit is hit the fan. And now, what, you gonna blame us all? Yeah, didn't God talk to all y'all? See what I'm saying? Ain't all y'all following the same shit? Man, let these people fool you. Roll it.
If a child was lost, they'd say, you know what? And they hated Jews so much, sometimes they would kill children just to frame Jews. And we can go through, I mean, this is something that was throughout history. So because you can find a blood libel.
You know, all this shit he talking about ain't number white on white shit. That's y'all fighting each other. Again, this ain't got nothing to do with black people. Who gives a fuck? Nobody care about what y'all doing. We don't care. Black people do not care about the rest of them other people. And that's our right too. The fuck you want us to? We got the right to not love nobody but ourselves. We don't go around fucking with y'all, beating y'all. Just because you ain't in our goddamn barbecue don't mean we don't want you or like you. We just don't want you in our shit. The fuck on. Why you gotta be all in our shit? Why we gotta be in our face? Go somewhere with that. We ain't worried about y'all. Go somewhere and die the fuck off. Roll it.
It's like, I mean, God forbid to say that about Black people in America have been persecuted and treated awfully. There must be a reason.
Yeah, it is a reason. Let's be honest. And I'm not going to cut you off. Let's be honest. Yeah. Because a lot of my people are brainwashed and they're really acting like criminals. We're not going to excuse that. It's some Black people right now in my family that I don't even want to be around. The
look, he tried to pull that shit. There's a reason why they want to kill Black people. No, it wasn't like that since 1492. So the reason why y'all keep killing us throughout history and throughout time is because we the true people. That's why, bitch. Roll it.
I hear you. I hear what you're saying, and
y'all are still doing it. That's the point I'm trying to make. See, when we say it was a long time ago, that's only something that we can say if it stopped. Like racism, right? It's like when white people say, "Well, that was the 90s." No, you're still doing it. So when it goes,
is it happening the same way? Okay, I don't want to get into discussion about race. No, yes. The racism that was going on.
So look me in my face right now, and you tell me that the Jewish community, specifically these Israeli Zionist Mossad entities like Jeffrey Epstein, Harvey Weinstein, Joe Biden, all of these American political figures with dual citizenship to Israel, and a lot of Jews in the
What's your question?
Is not raping and sacrificing children. You honestly
they're not. No. And do I think wait. Do I think Epstein and Weinstein are trash? Absolutely. Like beyond. First of all, Joe Biden, dual citizenship to Israel. Come on, man. All right, I didn't watch your documentary.
Biden said he was a Zionist. That's why I brought him up, because he said he was a Zionist.
A Zionist means someone who believes that the Jewish people have a right to the homeland in Israel, and that's something that I've demonstrated, and I'll demonstrate it right now again.
A Zionist is somebody who wants to return to Israel before the actual return of the Messiah. But that doesn't. No,
believes that the Jewish people. Wait. Let me just. I don't want to get into a back and forth if you don't mind. Okay, so the reason why I think on YouTube you'd have trouble, for example, is that today, and Nick Cannon had trouble, we're in a cancel culture time. Not only a cancel culture time, but liberal America now is like, if there's something that is speech that could be construed as hate, it's going to be something you're going to get censored on. It's not a Jewish thing. For example, can I give you?
Why do rap music? Why do the Jews who own the entertainment industry allow us to talk crazy? Because we say, like I say, nigga, right? I don't think that's a bad word, but some people,
because white people are scared to question another race about what they do, even if they disapprove. That's why.
No, they're not. So, no, they're not. Don't tell that lie.
You won't find, go to a college campus and you'll find white students arguing every topic. But if a Black person will say something that has to do with Black culture, white people will be dead scared to say something that might offend. It's just how it is. So I've gone to these places. I went to these colleges. So when I say that when Nick Cannon got canceled by Viacom, not by,
that's because y'all gonna get smashed. Just like this boy smashing y'all. But we scared of sister, because it ain't your fucking place in the first goddamn place. Get the hell on up out our goddamn face. You always act like y'all invited to speak on Black people when y'all doing all what y'all doing. You're not invited. And it shouldn't even come off your goddamn lips. If you want Black people to straighten up, all y'all motherfuckers since 1492, go home. How about that? How about leave us the fuck alone and go back from where you came from? How about that? You ever thought of that? Maybe that's the problem? Roll it.
Fox, he got canceled by Viacom, not by Jews, by Viacom. When he got canceled by them, so let me flip it around. What if a white celebrity got on a show, flipped the script, and he said Black people are subhuman? I guarantee you.
They teach it. The evolution.
Wait. If they would do the same thing that you said, and like Nick Cannon said, they would be fired that day.
That's not true. They do it all the time. They do it every day in college universities. They say that we're subhuman. Do you know?
College universities are the most liberal places in America. The only person who has to worry at a college university, I've been there. The only person who has to worry are Jews. You know why? Because anti-Zionism is the most active anti-force on a college campus. You have to watch your back. But if you're an African American on college campus, you don't have to worry like an open Jew like me. I'd have to worry much more than you would have to worry. But we'll keep that for later.
There he go, the bullshit.
I want to just talk about a few things you talked about.
Because nobody likes y'all. Fuck.
Okay, so let's do a fun one. Let's start with Israel. Okay, so you said, I might go out of order. You said Israel gets $3 billion of aid from America. True. You know what Israel's GDP is? You know what they make a year? $370 billion. That $3 billion they don't need. You can keep it. The $3 billion given is part of Israel has to spend that money on American weaponry and American military systems. It works both sides. Israeli intelligence helps American intelligence as well. It's something that's mutually beneficial. If you look on the map, you've got Russia, you've got Syria that's out of control, you've got Iraq and Afghanistan that are unstable, you've got Lebanon that's going out of its mind right now. Israel is a stable partner for the American government, which is why they support it, one. Two, the main reason Israel is supported also, to be fair, is that there's 90 to 100 million evangelical Christians in America. That's a third of America that believes in the Jewish right and wants the Jews to be living in Israel. So you're going to have a lot of support for Israel. It's not this like secret conspiracy. It's just common sense. Israel's a stable partner in an unstable region, and it is a place that a lot of Christian Americans believe should have a place.
Nobody give a fuck about y'all, but y'all people that's over here. Well, they got a lot of Americans who want to see the Jews. Yeah, that's because they don't want to go back home, and that's just the crowd pickers that ain't nothing but Jews themselves that trying about it. Yeah, we American, but you undercover Jews, and you pushing for them people. So go sit down that fake ass bullshit. Roll it.
Okay, I know you want to go off on it. We could go on Israel. We could do a whole 3 hours on it.
I'm letting you go. I just raised my hand because I didn't want to miss a point, but go ahead.
Oh, no, you can. You want to share it?
Yeah, because I just wanted to say the Jews. Can we agree that the Jews destroyed the economy of Russia?
Oh, if you want me to get started, we can do Russia. You want to do Russia? Can I tell you what?
I'm just saying the Jews destroyed
the Soviet Union
by inflating.
Hold on. I'ma stop that shit, cause he think he doing something. That white boy so happy. Pharaoh not talking about the origin no more. Oh, we can do this. You want to do Russia? Anything but the origin. I hope he circle back around. Shit.
The economy via the banking system, and then they went to Germany and tried to do the same thing. And Hitler, who was also a scumbag, happened to catch them in their tracks.
Okay, so you're trying to say, for example, that Hitler wanted to wipe out Jews because of the banks, or Russia? Okay.
No. I'm not saying that.
No, I know what you mean. Fine, I'll take it back. I take it back. You didn't say that.
No. Go ahead.
Karl Marx, for example, the only thing you said in your 30-minute thing on the Nick Cannon response that to me was true, literally nothing you said to me was true except Karl Marx was a Jew. You're right. Karl Marx wrote the Communist Manifesto. He wrote it because he was disgruntled at the fact that workers weren't making anywhere near the money that the CEOs were making. Kind of like today there'll be like a Bernie Sanders who will say that how come CEOs make billions of dollars and workers are out of jobs? That was his opinion. To connect that one Jewish opinion about fair economy, which I disagree with. I'm not a Communist Manifesto supporter. To connect that with Joseph Stalin, a maniac, and Mao Zedong of China, who both of them killed over probably close to 100 million people, to say that those maniacs, we have to blame the entire Jewish people because of one Jew who wrote a philosophy book, to me is crazy. It's crazy if I see one African American who did something and I connect that to the entire nation and then I pick it further, it's a big stretch, is what I'm.
This motherfucker here, bro.
I'm trying to say, and it's it's very concerning. I know you want to take notes and answer to everything I'm saying, and you of course have.
I'm letting you rock.
No, but what I'm saying is, I know we can go back and forth forever. I just want to quickly answer each thing, and then we can wrap up hopefully. But it's up to you, of course. Okay, so that was my thoughts on Karl Marx. Regarding what you said about people being happy in their native lands, I think is very interesting. It's very interesting. Being in the West, having money, having access to internet, having access.
I want you to have a good rebuttal. I'm not saying being happy in their native lands. I'm saying being happy outside a psychological premise given to us by a colonizer.
Fair enough. Fair enough. I'm not here to say, and I find that's an interesting.
He understood what the fuck this boy said. Are you happy in your native land? Who fucking wouldn't be happy in their native land? That's number one. Number two, that's another thing to get your ass back to your own fucking place. Number three, the boy trying to say. Without y'all being in our land fucking with us, we'd be okay. I promise you that. So get the fuck on with your confusion.
Topic we can maybe get into, and I think I will ask you this, and this is probably a very would you rather be in Africa right now or in America?
No, I would rather be anywhere on the planet, just not being told what to do by you or anybody else that's not
fair enough. Okay, fair enough. Fair enough. Well, the only thing I was getting at was as immoral as